Good morning. Hey, you guys. How y'all doing this morning? Let me make sure I'm on correctly. I took a day off, you guys, cause y'all, it was so much going on. It was too much for me. Hey, Tracy, Ezel, hello. Yeah, welcome back to Dolton, y'all. Okay. We only got, we're marking off the calendar like we're in jail. We like how much time we got left. Like how much time we got left before this election? Hello, everybody. Good morning. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this to be over, y'all. I just cannot wait for this to be over. It's out of control. Okay. Um, let's talk about Tiffany Henyard. Let's talk about Nazaya. And also, before we start, I had this up here because we've been having great chit chats with Gardis Watts and Big Mike. And some of the books that they recommended came in. And I think this was a book that Big Mike recommended or told us about. I don't know if he recommended it, but he told us about this book. And we were talking about politics in Chicago. If you guys want to check that video out, I'm gonna start posting those discussion videos daily. I know that a lot of times you're just here for one side of the content that I may have, but we had a great discussion about the politics in Chicago and Harold Washington and Ben Wilson and things of that nature. So please check those videos out too and give them a thumbs up. We also talked about Martin Luther King last week with Gardis Watts. So please give those a thumbs up too, you guys, just so we can get in the algorithm and have more discussions like this. Learning history is something I love. One of the things we're going to be talking about is going to be daily versus daily. That's what I'm titling it. But we're going to talk about senior dad Daly, or some people call him old man Daly, and his son Richard Daly. That's one that was in my era that I grew up with. And we were talking about how, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Larry Hoover in Chicago. And um, we we were just talking about how he had a little background in politics, and Fluky Stokes, Chicago, and how gangsters and things like that, drugs. Sorry, had to say it. People in power. It was all about the power and having the politicians on lock, having the police department on lock, having the CHA, the Chicago Housing Authority on lock. It was very interesting. So I got this book today, and it was called King David and Boss Daly, and it's pretty good. I put the link. Hey, Big Mike, thank you, David Barksdale. You're here. I was just saying. I know that Gardis got a little busy this week, so I was just saying I ordered the book that you told me about, and it came. So I thought it was interesting. So I'm gonna look over it before our discussion. But it's about it says in Chicago in mid 20th century, amid the haze and smoke of urban renewal and the sounds of wrecking balls and bulldozers, there lived two men, both street savvy, one black, one Irish, one young, one old, and both leaders of their clans. Each ruled with an iron fist. Each embodied the fighting spirit of the turbulent 1960s. One was David Barksdale, the Black Disciples leader, a black youth club that would give birth to America's largest street gang. The other was Richard J. Daley, the legendary mayor of the city of Chicago. He was one of the longest serving, most prominent mayors in American history and the last of the big city bosses. Although the two never met, at least not face to face, their fates were linked by a time of change, an era of protest, which was decisive which was a decisive moment of transformational, power that was on the verge of a violent uprising in America's second largest city. Now, I want to add in there, since I got Big Mike here, was this like also around the era of the Black Panthers as well? So Chicago had a lot going on. So King David and Boss Daly, The Black Disciples, Mayor Daley, and the Chicago on Edge by Lance Williams. So that's what I'm reading right now. And I put the link if you guys are interested in ordering the book, you get a discount on Amazon. There's the link right there. And also I gotta find my link for Audible. This book didn't have an Audible, but they did have discount on this book. Um Paperback, hardcover, and used. Okay, so there's the link. Um David Barksdale died of health complications, and Hoover combined the gangs to the GD Nation. Wow, we got to talk about this. I think this is very interesting. Wyoming said it would be great to see the progression of Chicago, Illinois politics and how it got to be the point where it is today. Yeah, 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 yep. During the late 1960s. Okay, because this was a powerful era, and I'm thinking about Fred Hampton, King David, Boss Daly. This is something, right? This is something. Um yeah, so we're gonna have a discussion next week. So I'm gonna get with the gentlemen and see when they're scheduled. But I just wanted to let you know that I did get this book today. I'm going to that's gonna be my read, and I'm gonna let you know all about it. I'm gonna let you know all about it. But hey, Brandon. But yeah, Chicago, man, most segregated city in the world, but definitely can cross paths, especially when you're up there with that business. Okay, all right. Don't get me started when Richard Nixon invited Jeff Fort to his inauguration and gave him access to federal funds. What? Big Mike, what is going on? You have to tell us about that. Yeah. Jeff Fort is the founder of the Black Pea Stones. Oh, okay. You know what? Didn't they have a picnic every year? Because I remember, like I want to say they had a picnic out south somewhere every year. Because I remember people would say, "Oh, this is uh," it'll be like in the area I was around. They would say, "This is Jeff Fort's daughter. This is so and so Jeff Fort's niece," and stuff like that. And I remember at the time I didn't understand who that was. So yeah, pretty cool. Thank you. Um, but I think they had a peaceful picnic every year, if I could recall. This was in my younger years, y'all. All right, you guys. So just wanted to give you that. Let's get started on Tiffany Henyard. Now, if you didn't know, today at 1:15 p.m., my favorite, y'all ever saw the twins are back. Y'all know who the twins are, right? The I need to do I need to do my poster because I this is an inside joke. But I tell everybody the twins will be doing their debut today. So the twins are Michael Smith and what's his name? Keith Price. I call them the twins because every time I see them together, they remind me of remember this movie you guys with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito? Keith Price is Arnold and Danny DeVito. Was that Danny DeVito? Yeah, I think that was Danny DeVito. That's Michael Smith. Every when you see one, you see the other. So I'll be like, is the twins gonna protest today? Y'all, every time I say they twins. Everywhere he go, they go, we go. They are twins. So I'll be like, okay. Mm-hmm. Michael Smith is dots. So Keith Price and Michael Smith, I always call them twins. I'll be like, okay. Uh they sit together, they dress alike, they everywhere. They twins. They just don't look alike. So they like Danny DeVito and let me find it. I'll be like, here they go. Here they go. These are the twins right here. Every time you see one, you're gonna see the other. Um, yeah, they. Did you ever see that movie? Wyoming. That was one of my favorite movies. I don't recall how they got to be twins. That's so 80s. But yeah, I call them twins. I gotta put Michael Smith head on one and Keith Price head on the other. But today at 1:15, they'll be back in session. They'll be back to talk at Thornton Township 333 building. They'll be back to fight Napoleon Harris off the ballot. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew that, because I know that's what you guys come to the channel for, to see a little bit of the history, how did we get here, and things of that nature. So they're still contesting Tiffany Henyard. I'm sorry, not contesting Tiffany Henyard. They're contesting um Napoleon Harris. Uh it's not gonna really, I wish everybody the best. This is the problem. So thanks for confirming to the Department of Justice. This is the problem. The problem is, they had these rules. Napoleon Harris is the Democratic committee man of Thornton Township, which was the same thing that Frank Zuccarelli. Let's go to the history, you guys. It was the same thing that Frank Zuccarelli held, right? He was the Democratic, what Democratic committee man for the Southland or whatever. So Tiffany, now she is the supervisor of Thornton Township, another seat held by Frank Zuccarelli. Frank Zuccarelli held both seats at one time. Now we're split. So our good friend Bert Odelson, he's the attorney over this. So Bert Odelson was standing there the whole time. He came up with the committee man rules. The rules came in, I think it was in July. We went over that, and what's done is done. The thing about it is, because we discussed this already, it's politics. I was there. Did they have a party and keep the people out? Yeah, they did. Absolutely. 100%. Was it some people in there that didn't even live in the township that said I? Yeah, it was. And yeah, it was. Uh it was very, very unfair. It was, right? Did they lock the people out? Yeah, they did. Absolutely. 707 the votes were called from the previous party. Those are facts. I'm not making it up. However, it was other barriers that she requirements that she did not meet on the rules. It said that you cannot currently hold a seat within 12 months. Well, that's the committee rules. She filed under the Democrats. She had to follow the rules. She did not file independent, much like Chris Clark did. You know what I mean? Or as a Republican, which she could not, like Richard Nolan, or as an independent like Nate Fields. She filed under the Democrat, and they had rules just to keep her out. Now, can I say that if Tiffany was in that position, she wouldn't have did the same thing? No, I can't. Do I think it was sneaky? Yeah, I do. Was it politics, as Trina Down said? Yeah, it was. So that's where we are. And it was so many other things. Like, people were yelling she didn't have a full slate. She didn't announce her slate. It was weird stuff, like she had to email her slate to directly to Napoleon and him, as we say. And that wasn't gonna be accepted. It was so many tricks to keep her out, and they won. So this is where we are now. So the only way Tiffany could get in is if she's written in on the as a write-in candidate, which is really, 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 really hard to do. Anything's possible. But we talked about it on my channel. I don't. Napoleon's the most popular. Um, um, they shut down bingo. That was one of her ways of campaigning. They shut down the buses. So she really can't have a gathering. They shut down the buildings. So she can't have a gathering and tell these people to write her name in. You see what I'm saying? So it's very, very, very tricky. So today we got the twins at 1:15 in the basement. The Keith Price and Michael Smith versus Napoleon B. Harris. Keith Price only et al. Right? What's et al? Anybody a lawyer in here? versus Napoleon Harris. Well, they just spelled Keith Price's name, and it's so funny, you guys, for them to be so like specific. Like they be like, your papers aren't stapled the right way. They were throwing Nate out. Your papers aren't stapled the right way. You spelled your name with one L instead of two. He signed Nate Fields instead of Nathaniel Fields. They threw him out. They didn't even spell. They didn't spell Napoleon right, and they be on it like the judges. All right, Keith Price and Michael Smith versus George Baker. What is this George Baker all about? What did he do? George, we need to know what you did. Motions and stipulations, hearing if necessary, issuance of decisions if necessary, scheduling orders, and public comment and recess adjourn. It's shorter, but we do know that these things will go a long, long, long time. So I text my bros and let them know that that was going on at 1:15. Hopefully they can make it. If not, your girl might pop through. I don't know. I don't know. I got a lot on my to-do list, so I don't know. But yeah, what George, what you do? George, you in danger, girl. What did you do? Why are they after you, George? And then also today, Nate Fields had court. I missed it. No, his court is at 10 a.m. today via Zoom. Let me see if I can um let me see if I can pull that up for y'all that want to see it. Nate Fields, let's see. A lot of people really support Nate Fields. Now, we talked about Nate Fields over here too. I like Nate Fields. I think he would be a fresh start. I'm gonna just tell you, Nate Fields is somebody that people should look out for. Because he's trying so hard as an independent candidate to get on there. Like people are really liking that about him. Uh, y'all want to hear my personal opinion? Um, Nate Fields will get some votes. Can Napoleon and them just say, you know what, we're gonna make you what was the Keith Price of the situation? Remember whatever Keith Price was? Not village administrator, Thornton Township administrator. Yeah, they could just say, you know what, Nate, why don't you drop out? We'll make you Thornton Township administrator. Just so Napoleon runs unchallenged. I think the only person he has to run against is Rich. Sorry, y'all, I'm still stuffy. Richard Nolan. You know what I mean? That's me. And look, I'm new to it. Thanks to Big Mike for letting me read about all these politics. I'm starting to learn how it sort of works, because I wasn't into politics. So now I'm looking like, so just to get him, like Miss Cassandra Jordan Hobson, do you think she gonna run in April? No. Mm-mm. And I'm not wishing that against her. Like they could really just say, hey, here. We'll give you a position. We'll give you a couple of dollars. Just go away. Not in a bad way. Just don't even run, and then come back. She already kind of messed up her name over there on Martin G. Johnson's show. Let me look at the comments. Then we'll go to we're gonna go to that. Okay, Big Mike. What he did was legal. Frank was the Democratic committee man, so that his opponents wouldn't pull this move to throw him off the ballot. Yep. It was legal. I think her. Okay, can I say this, Big Mike? I think Max Solomon. Max, no shade to you. I think he's in. That's Tiffany's attorney. He's over. He's in over his head. She really do need like a Delgado. And or the Blues Brothers. Remember the two pinstripe suit guys. We've been through. We gotta do like a Cooley High memorial for all the lawyers that once that won't have a job, except for Bert Odelson. He gonna be the only one still working. Once Tiffany leave. But yeah, I and then Big Mike, like I said, can I say that Tiffany, if she was in Napoleon's position, would she had did it? Yeah, she would have did the same thing if it was legal. It's just it. Child, we in danger, girl. And do you think the twins will not prevail? Good morning, Gemini. She has to, and Michael, you're absolutely right. She has to file as a write-in, right? Mm-hmm. She sure does. You're right. It all means all other names represented to lawsuit. Thank you, Big Mike. Wait, didn't Tiffany get Nate Field? No, he's still fighting. He has court this morning. I'm gonna pull it up. Well, he filed as independent, but he couldn't Wyoming. Okay, so look, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Like we're gonna talk about it. Wyoming girl, I said I wonder why the police didn't put him on a slate for trustee. We only had 3 trustees up. Who's been working the hardest? You got your Stubbs, you got your Mary, you got Avon, you got your, because let's be real, they Mary and Stubbs would not have won in Dolton ever. So the best thing is to put them over there in Thornton Township for them to run. And it's not shade that Mary Avon has ran time and time again, and she hasn't won. And then Stubbs, she, she these old board meetings resurfacing thanks to Conscious and all the rest of you guys that play these old board meetings. That y'all love the one when the guy is like, "I called you mama," and Stubbs walk out with her mini skirt, her little mini skirt on, and her hair in a ponytail. She walk out. Y'all love playing that. It would have been over. So then you got Chris Gonzalez. You got Chris Gonzalez is back in. You know what I mean? Because he said he was sorry. So there we go. So it was no room for Nate. So Nate went independent. And I thought that Nate should have started in as a trustee, but who am I to tell somebody what their goals and ambitions should be? So he went for supervisor. So there we have it. But yeah, he didn't have they didn't have room for him. They don't have room for him. Because wasn't there one time Kiana Belcher, remember that? Kiana Belcher daughter was running for trustee over there in Thornton Township, and that just went away. What did I miss? Hey, dear woke Christian, we're talking stuff. Oh, 73 people in here. These are Dalton people. 11 likes. Can y'all get the likes up? My goodness. I don't have to do this on no other subject but the Dalton. Y'all put a blue heart in the chat. If you know the only time I gotta come on here and say get the likes up is when I already know who it is, y'all. It's only here. It's only when I talk about the Dalton stuff. This is the only time I have to look over at my likes. Any other subject, I do not. Here y'all go. Here y'all go. Just cause I'm it's over. It's that Burgundy. She live again. Girl, I see her. You screen recording this, girl? Yeah, girl, I got it. You already started the post. Burgundy said in her live today. Yeah, I'm gonna lie about what she said, but I'm gonna post it anyway. Okay. Just get the likes up, you guys. 77. Gemini, you see that? I be like, Lord, that's why I cannot wait for this election to be over so everybody can go away. Thank you. At least we got to 20. So thank you, dear woke Christian. I appreciate you. I love your content. You're doing a great job covering Dalton as well. Appreciate you for picking that subject matter to talk about. You got a lot of things that you talk about, so we really appreciate you picking, this little village to discuss stuff about. Thank you so much. And thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. So today, oh yeah, dear well Christian, this is a good subject to cover. Wyoming today, the twins, the twins, Keith Price and Michael Smith, my favorite twins over there at Thornton Township. They are going to contest Napoleon Harris, and that's what we were wondering. Will he? Today's a big day. So Nate Fields, he goes to court at 10 a.m. I believe, via Zoom. And then you can find it on Nate Fields' Facebook. And then also Michael Smith and Keith Price, the twins, they're going to contest Napoleon Harris. If he lives there, does he live in a township? Is his name spelled right? Why he shouldn't be on the ballot? So let's see. It's gonna be a long day. Yeah, today at 1:15. Sometimes people run for position where they know they wouldn't win, but for name recognition for a position that they really want. You see this with candidates running for the presidency. You're right. That is smart. That is very smart. I didn't think about that. Now, Big Mike, can they keep their proceeds? Because remember when Shaw ran for Robert Shaw, I believe he ran for South Holland mayor against DeGraff, and everybody, we knew he wasn't going to win, but do they get to keep those campaign donations? I always wondered that, like, because would you run for something just because people are going to donate, and then if you lose, you keep the money, right? Or what happens? What Napoleon did was unethical but legal. Okay. And that's a fine line. We talked about that. And that's the thing. Things can be unethical, not right, kind of slimy, but was it legal? Yeah. In the eyes of the court, they said yes. The twins, dear woke, y'all tell dear woke Christian, the twins, Michael Smith. Michael Smith and Keith Price. Keith Price has a mean haircut every time I see him. He has the best. He needs to advertise his barber. His haircut be on point. But yeah, Keith Price and Michael Smith. We call them the twins over here. They're challenging Napoleon, and you know that they are Team Tiffany. So that's it. You know what I mean? Yeah, they could. They when you see one, you see the other. Oh gosh, moo. Oh hey, moo moo babe. And once again, I'm here watching your adult news. Full well knowing we have all these fire here in SoCal, so keep up with. Had 2 evacuation notices. Oh my gosh, we're praying for you there. We're praying for you there. Oh, thank you for being it. It's so. We praying. I want to cover some of the things that's going on in the with Southern California. I just don't know how. This is devastating. And you just think sometimes you just want a little sprinkle of rain, like Lord, send the rain. But then I think the rain will make it worse because isn't that when you get mudslides or something like that? So we're praying for you guys. It's just nature is something else, you guys. Something else. Thank you. Hey, choose compassion. Yeah, pray for us too. Pray for us too. Pray for us, you guys. Yeah, we're praying for you, Moo Woo, baby. Just found out Chris Gonzalez was the only trustee. Now, see, Wyoming gal, I've been covered that. You weren't. Oh, you didn't catch the live. You guys, the tea is in the minutes. We covered that. I said that. How many times did I say that? It's 2 things I said, you guys, but nobody listened to me. Nobody listens except for you, Wyoming. I'm just saying, nobody listens to me. Dear World Christian, this may be something you could cover, right? Uh, Chris Gonzalez. It's a lot of things I had wrong. The night he nominated Tiffany, go back on my videos if you guys have time. Everybody's like, how did Tiffany get elected, right? I mean, not elected, appointed, right? Y'all, it's in the history of Burgundy Blue Commentary. Okay, we start at the Mary Avant rally for the township, right? We start there. Who do we interview? The Doncor Parker, who I have to reach out to see if I can use his quote on a t-shirt. Because that quote, hold on. Y'all got time? Put a 1 in the chat. And this is not factual. This is history. We said, okay, so my whole thing is I'm steady like, uh, I have to talk about Chris Gonzalez, and it's his fault for nominating Tiffany Henyard. This is how we got in this space. 7 minutes before midnight, that's all we hear. Well, he nominated Tiffany Henyard, right? That's all we hear. I had to go through the minutes. Go through the minutes. Now, you guys that don't like me, would you at least listen to your girl? Just listen to me. Just at least give me a chance. Hit the like button. Give me a chance by just listening to me. I've been around here doing the history and the documentation, and you always can go back and reference some of my lies. So we go back to the time where we're at the Miss Mary Avant township event. Okay. We see the Don Core Parker. You can have that, baby. You can have that. That is the best. We never knew we were going to have so many quotes that I have felt the most connected and valued. You can have that, baby. You can have that. And finally, my favorite one, Mama Hill. That's thanks for confirming to the Department of Justice. This is the problem. these are the best. These are the best quotes. And can I be recognized, Mayor? You gonna be long winded? You know what I mean? We never knew we were gonna have all this. So the okay, go to the minutes. The minutes. I'm pulling it up, you guys. It's the key is you have to go into history. Do you know what Chris Gonzalez did that night? He nominated Cassandra Elston. You know what he did again? He nominated Cassandra Elston. You know what he did a third time? He nominated Cassandra Elston, the assessor. Everybody breezed by that part. Okay. Then all of a sudden, at the midnight hour, okay, Tiffany name is brought up. Now this is where my assumption comes in, just from what I've been seeing. This is a great if Dear Woke Christian, you still here, this would be great. Maybe some great people for you to interview when I think about it, like Chris Gonzalez, Don Core Parker, just on the history. Because I heard Don Core was the one that nominated Stephanie this time, right? No, now the reason I bring Don Core up, growing up, he was the first person I ever saw come from like high school straight into politics. I knew nothing about politics. And I was able from afar. I do not know Don Core past us going to school together, saying hello. He has a beautiful family. He's just I have no problem with Don Core. Nice guy. I didn't know anything about him. We've always been on one side because I worked for the Shaws and he worked for Zuccarelli. And I don't think Zuccarelli and the Shaws got along. Big Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. So you could always go through the history. So this whole time, listen to what Chris is telling y'all. Chris tells us in the Lansing Journal article, I did not know Tiffany had all those problems going on in Dolton. Now, could he be lying? Okay. Could he not be lying? Okay. My point is, he brought up Cassandra Elston's name 3 times, right? Now, if you don't know the history, let me tell you. Cassandra, Frank Zuccarelli was going to retire. We also brought this up on my channel. Frank Zuccarelli was going to retire. Tiffany Henyard was even her, she's on tape, on video. Everyone knows, this was public knowledge, that when Frank retired, he was setting Cassandra up to be the next supervisor. Do you know who voted against her? Her own people on that board. They knew Frank wanted her. But remember, that board didn't even like each other to nominate one of themselves. So now here comes Tiffany in the midnight hour. Now, this is my assumption, okay? Assumptions, you know what it could mean. Could make an ass out of you and me. I think by this interview I did with Don Core, I think Don Core is the one that told Chris to nominate Tiffany. This is an assumption. And you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Do you know why I'm saying that? Because we're talking, because I'm asking Don Core, why didn't you nominate yourself? Because he's so popular. He had all the votes there. He possibly could have got it. You know, I just was wondering why he didn't nominate himself and why was he the one there at midnight. Now, let's listen to this interview quickly. And it was really, really easy to see. I think that's what happened. I remember Don Core says in this interview, he says, I've known Chris for years. I work with Chris. So this is me like Spidey ding ding ding. I could be totally wrong. But what if Chris Gonzalez didn't know Tiffany, how did he nominate Tiffany? It doesn't make sense. Connect the dots. DOTT. That's another quote. We need, don't nobody take our ideas. I patent that. Thanks for confirming to the Department of Justice. This is the problem. Mama Hill quote. Okay? Let's go.
Almost 20 years ago, yeah, I was one of the first team leaders. Was pilot program. It grew to being one of the most fruitful programs in the state of Illinois. They hire up to almost 100 kids a year. I don't know if those numbers are still the same, but we were getting kids off the streets, and it was really a great program. Yes, I was a pioneer in that. Yeah. A lot of different things. Of course, I was a Thornridge football coach, wrestling coach at Thornwood, so I always knew the youth.
Don Court, I've only seen him be a mentor in the community, things of that nature. Now, he protects the Z team. Let me tell you, he will go for the Z team. But one thing, Don Court has definitely been a youth leader in the community that I've seen from afar. I don't, like I said, I don't know adult Don Court. I just know him as a kid. You know what I mean? And I was very proud to see him become a family man and rise up the ranks in Thornton Township.
Correct. You know, I knew what they needed. I was with them firsthand. So we created a program that we actually adopted from Kansas. Yeah. To keep kids off the streets. So yes, I've been in Thornton Township for a long time.
Now, one more question, Don Cor. What made you be there? Why were you there with Tiffany, if you don't mind? 7 minutes before what made you be there to support her? Like, why was you?
Okay, so if you guys didn't know, remember Don Core was the one that was there right before. He was the one, give it up for your new township supervisor, Tiffany Henyard. And if I had to go, it seems like they fell out too after that. And I would love to know why. I try not to get in people personal business, but I thought that she would have a loyalty to Don Core just because of that. Don't know what happened. I try not to get in personal stuff, but she know he been around for 20 years. Why not keep him? I don't know.
The back that held her together.
Well, it came down to this. We had some outside people wanting the seat. And I felt like our family should get first dibs at the table for the food.
Okay.
Tiffany was not in the royal family, but she was like a super step cousin. So was she part of the family? Yes. So I thought we should bring someone in that was part of the family, that wasn't a newcomer, and someone who would really.
Okay. Can you guys just follow along? And you guys, I'm not talking about us, the blueberries, but the people that just be so angry and just don't like my channel for no reason, and they will listen and they listen to what he's saying. I'm not saying these things. He's saying, now Don Court was nowhere on the dais. He was nowhere sitting up there. So he's saying, I thought we needed someone else. She was not. This is what he's saying. He had no vote. So how did Tiffany Henyard name get brought up? Now, this is me dissecting the interview, and then just going from there, okay?
Kind of do things that we were already doing, at least we thought.
Yeah.
And so that was the reason that I was there with her. Yeah. She was doing a terrible job as the mayor already in Dolton, so that wasn't the perfect person, no. It was just the fact that she was the last one that was there, that was part of our family. Stan Brown went up, he didn't get a second. Cassandra didn't get what we wanted her to have. Uncle Jerry didn't get what he wanted, so it was getting out of our hands. We didn't have any more members there. Should I put my name up? Yes, yeah. I didn't think about it because I had all the voters there. I had Jerry, I had Joyce, and Chris has been my buddy forever, and I work with Chris. In fact, I still work with Chris. Yeah. So I had the votes. I didn't think about it, and I thought.
Okay. Now, did anybody hear what Don Core said? So if we put what Don Core said with what Chris Gonzalez said, you guys got it? Now, this is just putting it together. I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth. We're using Don Core direct words. Now, my assumption is because he's not up there, he doesn't have a vote, he was nowhere to be found. How did Chris Gonzalez, who told us in another interview, I knew nothing about her. I didn't know Tiffany. I didn't know nothing. how did he just come up with her name? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they call each other royal family and stuff like this. I gotta check on Chavis. Yeah, so this is what we're saying. So let's go. So now that's Don Court, because I wanted to know, why did he just put his name in the ring? Because he has a voice at Thornton Township. But he, like he says, Chris was my buddy. I work with Chris. In fact, I still work with Chris. I didn't know that. So I actually, you guys, I think this is what got me kicked out. Like when they was like, that blueberry gotta go. Get this heifer out of here. Call the advocate. Get her out of here. Because I was asking questions innocently, but I got people to talk a lot. This is a great interview piece that I did. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm saying you can hear from each person before everybody got into the thick of it, because I went to each person and asked them questions that that we want to know, and that someone that only lives here would ask. So there you go. So he said, I work with Chris. In fact, I still work with Chris. Tiffany was not in the royal family. She was like a royal stepsister.
That, it was just too big for me, because it was Uncle Frankie's scene. I didn't want to seem like I was mocking him. Yeah. But let's be honest, I did have them.
Yeah, he might, because you have a lot.
All right. Like he said, he was like, I didn't want to, I felt like I never seen myself as Frank. So I didn't want to go there. Okay. Now, this is where the part with Chris gets a little kind of touchy. So I know I am one that said that too. I'm like, no. Chris Gonzalez, nope. Nope. We do not. He does not deserve a second chance. Whatever. I'm saying it like, why y'all, just cause he's the one that nominated Tiffany, but I have to do both sides. Yes, he's the one that nominated Tiffany. However, and choose you're here. However, I can't leave out that he nominated Cassandra 3 times, and the board turned on Cassandra when everyone knew she was I did a video on that. It was Frank's wishes that she become the next supervisor. He was positioning her to be the next supervisor. We're going to play that clip, okay? So, y'all, we got to look at all things when it gets to this thing. And me included. I had to go to the minutes. Shout out to Clerk Wells. Chris Gonzalez, he is the only one that said, yes, that on the board. The board could have saved Stephanie Weiderman's job. They said, yeah, fire. And Chris was like, no. He stood up for Stephanie. So I have to look at some things. I also look at, well, how the heck did you come over here to Dolton to sit on the Fire and Police Commission Board? I have that interview too. I asked Stephanie Weiderman that question. How did he become he don't live in Dolton. He didn't live in Dolton. So how did he become on the Fire and Police Commission Board right after he nominated Tiffany? That looked kind of suspicious. Chris went to Vegas. He went to Vegas that first year. He didn't go the second year. That looks suspicious. Could it have been, this is me. I'm not saying, you guys vote for who you want to on this channel. I'm never going to tell you who to vote for. We're talking. Could it have been that he started to see some weird stuff and was like, nah, because he quit. He resigned from the Fire and Commission Board. And then when the second trip came, he didn't go to that one. So I'm only going through the minutes that I'm reading. Could he have made some mistakes and just been rolling with the punches? And they said that Chris also got a contract to redo Village Hall. I haven't seen the paperwork of that yet, so I can't verify that, you guys. I'd have to get the paperwork. We only deal with paper. So let's go back to Don Court. So Don Court says, hey, she's not in the royal family. She is a close stepsister. Here go Chris Gonzalez. Let's go ahead to that part. Hit the like button, you guys. We got 45 likes. 110 people in here. Let's go to this part. We have to just follow the notes, okay?
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Published by the media of that moment, and we'll show it to
Shout
you.
out to the Lancet Journal.
49. I nominate Tiffany Henyard for Township Supervisor.
You all are making a mockery out of this for real. This is not a joke. This is not a joke.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
Trustee Gray Everett,
Yes.
Now, this is an assumption again. This is an assumption. So I have no proof. I was not there. I did not talk to anybody. Why are they standing right in the center? Was this something already told? Who passed the name to Chris Gonzalez? We're going to hear from Chris after this with the Lancet Journal again. If he knew nothing about Tiffany, how did this happen 7 minutes before midnight? You know what I mean? So this is Blues Clues Burgundy, if you will. So we heard from Don Court. I work with Chris. In fact, I still work with Chris. He had a voice still with the trustees. Here we go. And remember, that's Uncle Jerry. He said yes. Darlene, that's Auntie Darlene. She said yes. That's Chris' business partner. He said yes. There we go. You know.
And she has to sign the warrant, and then she's got to take the oath in 9 minutes. Let's go.
I didn't see that coming.
Did anybody see the wink? Look at Nate Fields over here to the right. Don Core right here. Then you see the assessor in the back. But did you guys notice? Did you guys notice the wink that Jerry did? Put a 1 in the chat if you saw the wink. Watch this right here. Look after the okay, we're gonna go right here. Look at Jerry.
9 minutes. Let's go.
I didn't see that coming.
Isn't that crazy? Did y'all catch that wink? So that's where we are. Okay, now let's go to Chris Gonzalez and what he had to say. And then we're gonna get into what's going on with Napoleon and Tiffany Henyard. You know, I just go through all the sides. I'm not gonna tell you guys who to vote for, or anything like that. But I only thought that night Chris Gonzalez nominated Tiffany Henyard. And shout out to the Lancet Journal for being the only reporter there. Thank you, Melanie and Josh. So here, because they took the voice away from the people. That's the main thing. They took the voice away from the people, and that's it. And no one says that. Okay, so here's the article. When you go down here, this is what happened. Gonzalez nominated Cassandra Elston. Trustee Gray Everett seconded. Then here go Jerry. Nope. Abstain. Gonzalez, yes. Gray Everett, yes. Washington, abstain. Okay. Then we go. I'm gonna only do Gonzalez. Then Gonzalez nominated Elston, but the nomination was overlooked in an ensuing discussion about returning to closed session. A motion to go into closed session was voted down. Okay. Then we go back to number 7. Gonzalez re-nominated Elston. Gray Everett seconded. Votes was called. Here go Jones. Abstain. Gonzalez, yes. Gray Everett, yes. Washington, no. Okay. Then here we go. At 11:48 p.m., Gonzalez nominated Tiffany Henyard, as shown in the video below. Okay. Now, that's all we can say. That's all we could say. We could just say, I can't take away that he kept on nominating Cassandra. If you guys need another reference of any of my videos, the one that I did is proof that Frank Zuccarelli um wanted Cassandra. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna get some water. And people thought this was a dig at I was putting Cassandra. They immediately, like, people don't even listen to anything I have to say, and it don't offend me anymore. But I only do the history. They're like, well, why are you talking about the assessor? What did she do? No, I'm showing you the history of Tiffany and the assessor. Right here, Tiffany is going to tell you out her mouth, as the mayor, Frank wants Cassandra. Okay, let's go.
Say something. Right. I've already done mine. Well, I want to say congratulations to my good friend Cassandra. I love her to death. I want her to have the very best 4 years. And y'all make sure y'all watch out for her. Stay tuned. We got her. And then Frank Zuccarelli, I want to say congratulations to you. I'm praying that you're molding someone to take over next. Yeah, but like, think about.
Now, did y'all catch that? What Tiffany say? I'm praying that you molding someone. And you can find clips after clip after clip of people nodding their head to Cassandra after Frank last term. They said that Frank was molding Cassandra to take his place. And look at our mayor right here saying that.
Yeah, but like, think about that. Congratulations to you. I'm praying that you're molding someone to take over next. Yeah, but like, think about that. And thank you for all your support.
A few moments later.
Right now at 9:30, a South Suburban elected official gets a rude surprise as she learns she's been locked out of her own office.
She believes it's dirty politics by another elected official who is now at the center of multiple controversies.
Fox 32's Dane Placco reports on another bizarre day in politics in Thornton Township.
So this is the assessor's office.
Cassandra Elston has been the assessor here in Thornton Township for the past 10 years, an elected position that helps residents deal with exemptions and property tax appeals. But when she arrived at work this morning, something strange happened.
This was your office?
Yes.
What happened when you tried to open it?
It doesn't work.
Not only had Elston been locked out of her own office, but boxes of sensitive documents that she kept in her office were spread around the common area.
This was under lock and key before.
This was under lock and key.
And now it's just out in the open?
Now it's just out in the open. So it has the taxpayer's name, address.
So who did this to you?
Well, I imagine this new supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Tiffany Henyard has become a political lightning rod since she was elected mayor of Dolton, making $46,000 a year, and last year appointed Thornton Township supervisor at more than $200,000 a year.
This is Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Supervisor Henyard.
Last week, Fox 32 and the Illinois Answers Project investigated how Henyard is using Dolton and Thornton Township tax money, employees, and equipment to fund a cancer charity in her name. Elston has been critical of Henyard's spending at the township and believes getting kicked out is political payback.
But this is not going to stop me. This is my job. This is what I get paid to do.
She's the assessor. She invited us inside here.
And that's when township security officers stepped in.
Okay, so we don't see that guy no more. I think he got tired. He quit. He quit. I remember he was like, you can have that, baby. You can have that stuff. So that's a little bit of the history. Now, let's go back to Chris Gonzalez. And
one of the items of recent controversy has been the referenda that are going to be.
Sorry. Let's go to Chris Gonzalez and what he told us. We have to listen to what people are telling us. Like, I did not listen to everything until I got to FOIA and looking at the minutes and doing all that stuff. I said, oh, wait a minute. He did. I'm thinking the whole time from clips. I'm only seeing clips. So I'm thinking the whole time. Again, shout out to the Lancet Journal. They have a meetup tomorrow at Cafe Dolce. Go to the Lancet Journal and check out their YouTube page. They'll have a meetup tomorrow. So I just was going by that clip, the nomination, because that was the famous clip, right? But I never went through the whole thing that was right there for us to see. Like Napoleon Harris, no, he didn't even get a second. He didn't even get a second. Now he's on the ballot and the only one probably that's going to be on the ballot. Now, we're looking at how things are. Like Chris, he really did stand up for Stephanie. He did. I can't take it away from him. He really did try to nominate Cassandra repeatedly 3 times. He did. Can't take it away from him. I think we only know him from that one clip, and you have to just have that discernment for yourself. Let's go back from there. Let's go back and see what's going on and looking at the history. We're looking at the history, you guys. It's important to do that. Now let's hear from Chris when he's with the Lancet Journal. And thanks for being here. If you can, hit the like button. Thank you, Wyoming. Help your girl out, Wyoming. Help your girl out. That's why, you know what? I just got a great note from someone. I just got to keep on going because I don't get how anybody gets that I'm saying that. Like, we thanks, Wyoming. Okay. So this, again, shout out to the Lancet Journal. Thanks for confirming to the Department of Justice that you have been the main person on the scene. Thank you, Melanie and Josh, and now Carol.
Just plain fact that I've questioned things, and I other than that, I really don't know. If there's any other reason, but that's the main one that I could think of.
And that's a unique role that you find yourself in then, as being usually the only person on the board who has any questions or is willing to make a critical remark or say, hey, I'm not sure that we should be doing this way. You end up being the only person who's making those kind of comments, which kind of puts you in a tough position because it all falls on you.
Yeah, because of that, I really can't, I don't want to say get anything done, but even when I question something, like you said, if there's a certain line item that say, hey, can we table this? Let's get some more information, and we could come back to it. Because you have to make a motion, you have to have a second for things like that.
Right.
Unfortunately, I don't have a second. So I've gotten a lot of feedback from residents just saying thank you, and please just keep going. Don't stop asking questions. That helps so much.
So let's bring it back in time. We're talking about Tuesday's meeting. Let's bring it all the way back to the beginning of 2022. That is when former Supervisor Frank Zuccarelli passes away, and a void of power exists.
Hey, Tracy. Hey, good to see you. You know what? They did not. And I don't know, because I didn't even, at the time, I didn't even know Chris had a construction company. That would be something for maybe someone to look into. I haven't. I don't even know the name of his, I don't even know that part. From the outside looking in, just on these subjects, it seemed like he tried to step away. Something wasn't. Now, was it because of the construction company? I don't know. See, that's the thing. When Tiffany always saying, I'm going to give you the receipts, and she never gives us the receipts. And I think that would be so helpful. Like, you can't give us the receipts right before the stroke of midnight, like the nomination. She said every week she was going to do a Tiffany Speaks. We haven't gotten that. You know what I mean? So put it on the Jumbotron. Like, that's the problem. Like, that's the weird part. Do I think that it's some stuff she has that could really be like eye-opening? Yeah, I do. Why they're not putting it out? I think she has a lot of bad advisement. I think her whole term she's had bad advisement, as well as she doesn't listen. But like Mr. Moore, he's terrible around her. I don't know why she has Mr. Moore around. And at first I thought everybody was just like ragging on him because he seemed like a hallway monitor to me. But yeah, he does a lot. And I'm not just saying on my side. I watch a lot of things that's going on, and I'm like, man, he is really hurting her more than he's helping. I think the solidest person, if that's a word, that this is me looking on the outside. I don't know anyone. I think the only person that could be, and this is me on the outside, Tracy, maybe Keith Price. I think he's the most informative because he's been in politics so long. You know what I mean? I'm sure they probably don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff, but I think he might be the most, no matter how you feel about him, I think he might be the most informative person she got around. Everybody else, they just hanging on until the clock strikes midnight and they pack up their banker boxes.
Now at the top of Thornton Township. That results in a series of meetings among trustees, excuse me, where you are tasked with appointing a new supervisor, and if that doesn't happen by a certain time, that's going to go to a town hall where then the public is going to be
correct
appointing the new supervisor. So if I recall, some of those meetings were a little bit contentious among trustees as far as, I remember you suggesting a number of names that were not seconded or not voted through. Some other trustees were suggesting names that were not voted through. So it comes all the way down to 12 minutes before midnight on the legal deadline. This is in March of 2022 now. And it was you who 12 minutes before midnight said, I nominate Tiffany Henyard. And that was the first name that was actually voted for by the rest of the trustees. So then just a handful of minutes before midnight, Tiffany Henyard is sworn in as the supervisor of Thornton Township. Put us in Chris Gonzalez's mind, 12 minutes before midnight. What was your thinking in nominating her after this long process?
I mean, just as a whole, I just felt that I was hoping we could get somebody that was a little bit younger for the role. I felt it was time that we, possibly, and I mean, I wasn't like honed in on that, but that a woman. I just thought that would be somebody that was a little bit younger, a woman. So that's kind of where I was. I'll be honest, I really didn't know at that time a whole lot of the, that there was already some controversy and things like that, a little bit that was going on in Dolton, say. Sure. So I didn't really know about that. And that was also something that, I mean, obviously there, just on the surface, there was a little bit of experience there. She had been a trustee, just became mayor. Kind of a town that you might have had as a base as far as just like, once again, coming from that there might be some experience and things like that there. Yeah. She went straight to Frank's office and, sat in the chair and she just kept basically yelling, what are they going to think now? What are they going to say now? Speaking of the Dolton trustees, because I guess, like I said, there was already a rift and I didn't know that. So I'm thinking I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? And then so I went to Keith on the side and I said, what is she talking about? I said, is the board against her in Dolton? And he said, yeah. And I said, who? He's like, everybody. And he was like proud of it. And at that time, I mean, I already was like, what did I do? Like you said, the other part was going to a town hall meeting. And, people have asked, and it wasn't the case that I didn't want the people to, speak their voice, but a town hall meeting is very different than having, a regular election. I think that if it was something where we would have had a regular election, it would have been kind of a whole different mindset for me. Once again, I'm just, speaking for myself. I just saw that, the way a town hall meeting would be set up, that there would just be so much chaos. And I just, unfortunately, had kind of saw that there, it would just possibly be like something that was going to be stuck in the courts and things like that for some time, just because of the way the process goes.
They took the voice away from the people.
It's really kind of an older process.
I see.
But like I said, if it was kind of like a normal general election, that would have, I think that would have been, much smoother and much better where you're having.
We didn't have a general election that just happened, but like I said, could people learn from their errors? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in politics, but there was a step-by-step for you guys. That was how we got to, in my opinion, the Tiffany Henyard situation because of that nomination came. He said he didn't know nothing. He like, what do you mean? Everybody's against her in Dolton. How you nominate somebody you know nothing about? That is weird. That is suspicious. But I can't take away. Like I said, I read the breakdown, Lansing Journal, and the minutes from that meeting. Chris kept trying to bring up who Frank wanted, and the board turned against her. Now that is history. Okay, so now let's get into. Let's see what's happening right now today. Um, what's going on in our town?
Now to breaking
township
news. Embattled Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard will not be on the April 1st ballot to elect a new supervisor. A judge dismissed her lawsuit today. Henyard claimed that a caucus improperly named State Senator Napoleon Harris as the Democratic nominee. The only way that she can get on that ballot now is if voters write her in.
I agree with Miss Asia. Miss Asia, thanks for that. But it's funny now they were okay with doing that style meeting for Stephanie. They sure was. Where else did we get that voter meeting from? No, this was because I was at the last town hall meeting, but it wasn't to vote for anybody. It was for like taxes and all of that stuff. But yeah, they sure did. They had no problem doing that for Stephanie. Like I said, they took the voice away from the people. So it's a lot of puzzling going on, but we did the breakdown the best way we could on how Tiffany even name got in Chris Gonzalez's mouth. Just if we connect the dots, DOTTS. Okay, so now the judge said no to Tiffany. Okay, let's go to what they had to say over there, Regina Land, NBC5. Let's see what's happening over there.
Development in the saga of embattled Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. A judge has dismissed her lawsuit, claiming that a caucus that threw her off the ballot was illegal. NBC5's Regina Waldrop has been following this case very closely for a very long time. She joins us now with details. Regina.
Marion, it is official. Tiffany Henyard is off the ballot for Thornton Township Supervisor, a role she was appointed to in 2022. So I want to take you back to the scene December 3rd. That is when Tiffany Henyard was thrown off the ballot. It was a packed and raucous meeting with an overflow crowd waiting outside. At that time, Henyard called it unfair and illegal. She said none of her supporters were let in to cast a vote. Now, we spoke to elections expert attorney Bert Oldelson, who tells us the caucus was legal, and also a Thornton Township resident who says it might have been legal, but it might not have been ethical.
I think that they used some plays out of Tiffany Henyard's own playbook. They booked a venue that was too small to hold everyone who wanted to attend. They seated their own supporters early.
Were there, conducted the caucus, it was done legally.
Okay. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts. Y'all, good morning, Scott. Mr. Roberts. Okay, let me tell you. I had to say something. Mr. Roberts, he doesn't have a filter. So that is one thing. I miss when he was the number guy, the numbers guy. It went from numbers guy to sort of a Thornton celebrity. Dolton celebrity, right? Mr. Roberts, I don't know him, but I don't think that people could tell him what to say, which is kind of cool, because I know that they were like, Paul, why did you say this? Look at it. He's like, look, I saw him in someone's chat. I don't know. Y'all sent me the screenshot, so I don't know who chat it was. But, people screenshot and send me stuff all day long, which is pretty cool. I appreciate it. Well, Mr. Roberts was in a chat, and he was like, do you plan to follow up with the corruption in Thornton Township still, even after Tiffany's gone? And then I think it was Stephanie. I had to put it after she said, the plan is when Tiffany is gone, it will be no corruption. And Mr. Roberts was in the chat like, I'm asking the question. He was like ice. He was like Nene Leaks. I said what I said. But I gotta hear this one more time.
I think that they used some plays out of Tiffany Henyard's own playbook. They booked a venue that was too small to hold everyone who wanted to attend. They seated their own supporters early.
Were there, conducted the caucus, it was done legally. Even a properly filed objection wouldn't have stood. So she's done.
Tiffany Henyard's only option now is to be a write-in candidate in Thornton Township's April 1st election. Now, today's court ruling in no way impacts her role as Dolton mayor.
Crazier things have happened. You know, people, we don't know because we don't see the, thanks Wyoming girl, we don't see the overall of the voters in the township. We see the Dolton nights, because I heard it was okay, let's go back to the councilwoman, who was it? Remember, it was Kiana Belcher taking Monica Gordon's seat. They wanted to take Monica Gordon's seat, and I thought that should have been a win, as much press as Kiana Belcher gets. However, this is what I keep telling people from just on the inside. Dolton gets a lot of coverage, but it's from the outside. So all the people that come out and they're like, yeah, vote for Tiffany, if they really can't vote, it's going to be an issue. You know what I mean? Not an issue, but they're not speaking for the people. So it's okay to win the contest of popularity on YouTube, but would you win it at a, when it really counts? A write-in, people could be fed up. I've seen crazier things happen. You know what I mean? We don't know. I think, like I always say, Napoleon is the popular vote. When people get a little in a tizzy when I say it's people that voted for Napoleon and voted for Tiffany. And if you're not here, you probably didn't understand what I was saying. Napoleon's the state senator. Sometimes he runs unopposed a lot of the times. He's been our state senator for 12 years? Okay. And then Tiffany, she's been a trustee. People have voted for her as trustee for 8 years. Then they turned around and voted for her as mayor for another 4 years. Both of them would be on the same Democratic ballot. So that's what I mean when I say people like Tiffany and then they like Napoleon. Now, Tiffany and Napoleon are head to head. If it had to be them two together, Napoleon is the popular vote. But a lot of the messiness going on, people will turn around and probably write Tiffany's name in, like sick of the mess. Like the township is shut down. So the township is only shut down so y'all can let your people get in. This is crazy. So now going back to Kiana Belcher and taking Monica Gordon's seat as councilwoman, I thought it was an easy slay. That was my opinion. I was wrong. The woman, what was her name? Keisha? I cannot think of her. I didn't even know who she was. She took over and won. Hands down won. Okay. I heard that even it was another woman that was running against Stephanie, and she got quite not against, but running for the same seat as Stephanie, and she had a pretty good turnout there too. So it's a lot of people that are just quiet within the township. That's just what it is within the village. They don't want to be in the mess. I do not blame them. They'll rather have their voices heard at the polls. So Tiffany does have more support than people give her credit for. I did not like that WVON interview, not because of Miss Cleopatra, just because I just think she spent too much time on the wrong things. That's the only thing. So I hope Tiffany could sit down with someone again and give a really good interview, and have a little, just be straightforward. Like, man, I messed up dressing like Nino Brown. I thought it was going to be funny. I was dressing up like, Martin, playing Nino Brown. Just still, he was playing Nino Brown. Maybe playing a bitch better have my money during a board meeting was not tasteful. Okay, my bad. I didn't even pick that up. You know what, y'all? My bad. Just Just say, this was my first time running as mayor. I have not been perfect, and let's pick up where we left off. I think that would be great instead of just being so defensive, even though I know why was she not? She's been attacked the entire 4 years. But sometimes you just gotta, hey, you know what? I don't do everything perfect. This is how I feel about it. You know, and that's it. But they took away, but see how savvy it is, Tracy? It's no bingo. So she can't even get all the seniors together. It's no money for bingo. So she can't even tell everybody, big bingo, hey, don't forget, next week, write my name is, just like tea with the trustees. That's just a political session. Hey, don't forget to vote for this person. Even the Dolton board meetings are turning into just clean house political stuff, you know? Because if Tiffany's not there, it's just a political session. You know, public comment is nothing but politics. So that's when you get the people together and give them that brisk reminder, right? Man, Bert is getting money. And what's that girl name? The woman, Tracy Nelson Jaworski. Baby, I know her husband is like, yes. Whoever she married to, yes. Bring home the bacon and fry it in a pan. Vegan bacon, pork bacon, turkey bacon. Tracy Nelson, whatever. Because she's the election lawyer. She's the Thornton Township lawyer. What else is she? Because her and Bert, they neck and neck at checks. No, Bert probably better at, they both everywhere. Lord. She's probably going to be partner of Delgado Group by the end of the year if she keep cashing these checks the way she is. Baby. Woo! Okay, that was that. Okay, so we heard from that. Now let's go to Critical Smoker, one of my favorite people to reference. Shout out to Critical Smoker. So this was what Tiffany was telling us about the situation with the election Democratic committeeman. We're going to call it the situation.
When you're in your moments and you think, oh, God, what was next? Let God be God. 2022. Frank Zuccarelli passes away. Township. They're fighting over who they're going to appoint a supervisor at that time, right? They don't get along, some board members, they fighting one another. They don't want this person, that person. All that go on for a while.
And why nobody bring that up? They were fighting amongst themselves for what, 90 days or 60 days? It was a mess.
2 months. Now this before I got involved in any of it. 2 months it happens. And then they wait to the last day where they head to the last hour, where they head to appoint a supervisor. Right? Reminding you, several people went up on that. When I say several. Even the police, even Stan, everybody that you could think of, they called that name out. They made a motion, couldn't get a second. Made a motion, got a second, couldn't get the vote. Every time. Now I'm in the room, right? I'm the mayor of Dolton, so I'm in the room. Because you always want to be in the room, because I'm coming to beg whoever it was that they were going to choose to help Dolton. I always go begging for Dolton. That's how I get a lot of things, because I'm always in the room. So when I'm there, as they keep failing, they keep going back and forth, and then they go to closed session. As they're in closed session, they still arguing, they come back out, they motion somebody else up, they second it, none happens. Okay, go back into closed session. This is what we watching. We on the outside, like how y'all watching us here. Everybody just sitting waiting, and they still fighting over who it should be. After that, they come out. Next thing I know, your girl name is called on the table. I motion Tiffany Henyard. Oh snap! I got a motion. Cooking with gas. I get a second. Oh, God. So they get a motion in a second. Call the roll. Such and such person. Such and such I. Such and such person I. Oh, I got two. I need one more. Now remind you, it's right before midnight. 5 minutes before midnight. The third person, which I think was this year. Third person. Joyce Washington. Rest her soul. She said, the crowd go crazy. It's like mixed feelings, right? Ah! And then, oh my God, I'm gonna do it. this up and down type of emotions, right? So I became the first female, youngest African-American supervisor of the largest township in the state of Illinois. Ooh, people mad now. Oh, I got more enemies now. Oh God, what have you done, right? That's what you're thinking. But at the same time, God blessed me while I was going through what I just broke down to you. I was going through all that mess. And he blessed me. He enlarged my territory. As they say, look, God will make your enemies your footstool. That's exactly what happened for me. Not knowing I was going to get all these other powerful enemies, right? Because that's what happened. So now, everybody want to control you. Because now you got the big seat. Right?
I actually think that's a lot of the fight. They wanted to control Tiffany. I do. I think that's a lot of the fight. And they thought they could control her and they couldn't. But I also think that if she would have eased in and sort of did the blueprint, but I feel conflicted saying that. It sounds like I'm kind of flip-flopping when I say that, but I'm like, maybe just do a little bit at a time. Things would have went over smoother. I think because the board doesn't hold any responsibility, even though they voted to fire all these people, right? These people are acting like they just walked into work and Tiffany was like, you're fired. No, the board had to vote for this. This is what happened. And it's in the minutes that Clerk Wells put together. But nobody puts that responsibility on the board. So I feel like if she would have eased into it, and it's just little things like not changing the ZAP program to HAP, leaving that as a tribute. But I also could go to the minutes and see, this is why I could never just give it to y'all straight and say, oh, Tiffany is all this, or the trustees are all that. I can't, because I can go back and see when there was a lot of things that were flawed. Like when Tiffany was voting to change the street sign from Wassaw and Jerry Jones to Wassaw Street to Frank Zuccarelli Way, right? And in the minutes, Jerry Jones and approved the statue. And Stephanie Weiderman kept going up there like, when's the statue going to be here? When's the name going to be changed? You know? And Jerry Jones, because we want to blame Tiffany, it's in the minutes. We'll do this in a separate video. Jerry Jones is sitting up there saying, oh, no. And I'm paraphrasing. It's Clerk Wells did great. He said, I'm not going to vote for anybody that basically was a crook of the Southland. And it's like, I'm watching videos of Jerry Jones shaking Zuccarelli's hand. He was against it. And Tiffany was fighting him, but nobody talks about that. I would have never thought Jerry Jones was against it. It's in the minutes. It's very interesting. I might have it right here saved on my computer. If you guys want to see that, put a 1 in the chat before we switch over to Naziah, because we've been long-winded on this subject. Thanks for the new people that subscribe. Thank you guys for listening and giving me a chance. It's not easy covering this. It's not easy covering this because when you're dealing with it in the Southland, you see it from all angles. You see it from all angles. Yeah. He said, no. It got really juicy, right? Right, Choose? Jerry Jones was like, and Tiffany was like, let's vote to blah, 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 and change the Thornton Township sign to purple for Frank Zuccarelli. I entertain the motion, and Jerry Jones was like, he was like, yeah, okay. I vote no. Serve, save. She failed to understand that the seat is not simply controlled by one person operating independently. You must have structure that supports a united direction. People skills, soft skills is needed. I can agree with you. We were discussing this. Frank, it took him 30 years to build these relationships. 30 years to be, he had three seats, South Suburban Chairman, South Suburban Democratic Committeeman, Thornton Township Supervisor. And he was doing something over there in CTA he had no business doing, right? But he was over there somewhere. But it took him years to build these relationships. And I thought that if she would have It doesn't make it right. I hope I'm not offending saying this. She was appointed the seat. Certain things, if she could just had, this sounds so icky for me to say it, but do y'all get what I'm saying? I'm not saying play ball, but everything couldn't be changed overnight and you get all 30 years in one day. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? It's like you sort of just ease into it. You build the relationships with your 17 committees, 17 municipalities. Well, 16 because you're the mayor of Dolton. Nurture them. Yeah, people going to talk behind your back. People ain't going to believe in a black woman, a young black woman doing this. Maybe following a little bit of the blueprint, keeping those relations close. Like with Stephanie, I would have never let Stephanie still be my chief of staff, but I wouldn't have fired her. I would have said, but I think Stephanie said that in Left of the Center podcast, they offered her a job. I believe that was a podcast, or was it Hannibal is Hungry? Shout out to both of them. But they offered her a job, but it was somebody else was going to, this is what Stephanie said, someone was going to lose the job for her to get the job. So she didn't agree with that. And so she actually took over Stan Brown's position at the Park District as an interim person. So she still made pretty good money still. And she was able to keep a job. But maybe positioning Stephanie somewhere else would have went over. But again, I know how municipalities go. You don't keep, like Brandon Johnson didn't keep all Lori Lightfoot people, but as an appointment, I think is different. I hope I'm making sense to you guys. Election, totally. Go ahead, wipe out everybody and start anew. Appointment after a sudden death, I would have just, as long as they were doing what they were supposed to do, I would have made some changes, but I would have just kept the people the way it wasn't the same. Elections are different. Appointments in my situation. These people didn't expect Frank to die expectedly. Give them time to transition. See who's going to be with you. See who's going to be against you. Give them some time. And also, they could have showed her how the municipality works. I hope it makes sense. Prayers for the residents. Yes, girl, we need it. The only thing I don't appreciate is that Stephanie was not transparent that the board did vote to fire her, except Chris. Yeah, like a lot of people aren't saying Chris is, we got to give it to Chris. Chris is the one that said, no, let's keep her on. I don't think you should fire Stephanie. They could have had they could have even voted for, let's say this choose. Let's say they would have said, yeah, we're going to fire Stephanie or let her go, lay her off, whatever the term we want to use. We're going to do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to give her maybe 3 months as a consultant for the township to, because she was a chief of staff. She has 2 titles. It's like executive assistant, then it's chief of staff. I don't know the correct title. According to the clerk's office, it was executive. I think it was executive assistant. Let me see. I don't want to have it wrong. No disrespect. But I think if they would have said, you know what, we need Stephanie. Stephanie knows the ins and outs of what's going on. Let's give her 3 to 6 months. Let's give the human resources person 3 to 6 months to transition. We would rather have our people in there and see how that works. Just not let them go. Am I making sense, y'all? I'm trying to make sense. I know it's a lot to take in, and I know I could never be a politician because I'd be like, everybody, you get a car, everybody get a car, because I would never want to see people just be without a job, but that's politics and municipalities. I hate it. But yeah, this is important. this is very important that we look at the history of things. I agree with you. I agree with you. And this is not hearsay. This is stuff we talk about that's in the minutes. Yes, that's it. That's exactly what I'm saying. The power seat holds the reins and must be skillful enough to keep them willing to move in the same direction. It's an art form, and she didn't understand. And hey, you guys, I'm not skipping over your comments. We just have a big crowd today, and it's a lot of comments coming over. So I'm just picking. And you guys, I'm wearing glasses, so I'm like looking at the screen. I need one of, I need some blue lenses, so I'm not skipping over you. No, Carmen was not on the board when Stephanie was fired. Remember, Carmen took Joyce Washington, may she rest in peace. She took her seat. Now, Joyce Washington had been a trustee for what, 7 years? So just like Frank Zuccarelli, this is another thing, Keithis, just like Frank Zuccarelli appointment, they took the voice away from the people, and Tiffany appointed Carmen Carlisle, right? And they voted yes. Also, just like Frank Frank had made 200 some thousand a year. Carmen Carlisle is the highest paid trustee as well, according to the ordinance, because even though she's the newest trustee, she's the highest paid because she took over Joyce's salary. So just a little history there. If they would have said no, she would not have lost her job, whether Tiffany wanted that or not. That's very true. So why do we why do we hang that on Tiffany, the firing, the whole thing? They could have stood up for her. You know what I mean? They could have. Me too. Kiva said I wear glasses. That's how I am. I'm like, I wear glasses. I can't see. Okay, hold on. I didn't see it, E-Tide. What could I think she received her degree from Robert Morris University. They had night school. It was like the fast track program. I remember that because I went a couple of years, and I stopped because you couldn't transfer your credits. You ever saw those? I did a video on that, you guys. Westwood College, ICDC, Robert Morris. Remember that? DeVry. I did a video on that. What's that? ITT Tech. If you got your bachelor's there, and let's say you wanted to go to University Park to get your master's or something like that at Governor State, they wouldn't take those credits. You have to go back to like another college and get those credits. It was so sucky. It's somebody else that they always talk about. Who do they talk about? It's someone that they talk about, but they never say, oh, never mind. I'm not even gonna mention their name. It's somebody that's out there in the Daltonite world, and they always say, I got 12 years and a master's degree and stuff, and they never list their college. And I'm like, why nobody ever say their college? Like Jason says U of I, Tiffany says Robert Morris, but it's like people just be throwing how many years they got out, and they don't tell us nothing about where they graduated. I'd be like, okay. Let's see. Yeah, sorry guys, I can't catch up with it. My eyeballs, because I'm trying to do this and do that. So forgive me. Not ignoring you guys. But you always can repeat the question if I miss it, guys. Let's see. Let's look up this, and then we're on to Naziah Harris. We have been long-winded. Let's see. I wanted to find this one. And I appreciate y'all patience. Okay, let me go to this one because I think I got the wrong one here. Because you guys asked me to. Because y'all, we long-winded. So thumbs up the video for the long-windedness, okay? And a little history.
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
You want to be long-winded? I'm just acting.
Mistake.
Y'all, you know, we always get long-winded on the Burgundy. And when we do talk about it, like it's Dalton overload for me. I just be over it. You know what I mean? I be over it. But yeah. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. I want to pull this up for you guys. Let's see if we got it. If not, we'll do it on a separate video. Because when I tell you these minutes are so juicy, y'all, you could write a book on these minutes. That's why I think, quiet as it's kept. We'll never go those Dolton board meetings. It's never gonna see the light of day. Okay, because you also get public comment in here in the minutes, and just think about how long our public comments are. Child, they're never gonna see the light of day. Okay, y'all could cancel 2022 to 2020 whatever. Board, and it's a shame and it's a pity. It's a shame and a pity. This is a good one. It's September 27, 2022. That's where Mr. Rucker, who, didn't get the restaurant open in Dolton, he didn't get the stuff he needed. He was going to build Restaurant Row in downtown Dolton. He came to the board meeting, child. When he came down there, he had this 30 public comments. And let me show you an example. And y'all can read it amongst yourself. But look at this. This is September 27th of 2022. And look at public comments. Look how long. Look how long. Public comments. John, DeAndre, John Kraft of the Edgar County Watchdogs. He was there. Look how long his public comment is. Jerome White. Trustee Jim Giglio. Now this is interesting. I didn't even read this. Wasn't he in Calumet City before? Wait a minute. He's y'all. I gotta read this. I didn't even see this. Now look, Trustee Jim Giglio, after issuing out a copy of the minutes from the past meeting, he mentions March 3rd. I have many friends sitting on this board, and this has nothing to do with you. The clerk cannot chair a meeting. The clerk can only vote to break a tie in the appointment of an open seat. Pro temp Supervisor Washington, that night, she said she could not conduct the meeting because she was on medication. Now, if you didn't know, Miss Joyce, Trustee Joyce, may she rest in peace. I saw people covering Trustee Joyce before, and they were saying, "Oh, we think that she was inebriated." No, she was really, 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 really sick, and she probably shouldn't have conducted it because she, she was weak. It went off to midnight. Not trying to take away from her, but it went on till midnight. Said she could not conduct the meetings because she was on. Look at the minutes, y'all. Do you think Dolton ever, y'all seen public comment? Now, Dolton, someone said this, Dolton may not have the minutes, but why won't the Dolton board film it and post it next to, so when we go to Clerk Key's agenda and it says minutes, all we can do is reference the video. That's it. Just post the video right there until she can get the minutes. With a disclaimer, this is all we got because the minutes haven't been approved or whatever. She could not conduct the meeting because she was on medication. Rest her soul, you guys. Clerk Wells, Loretta, I love you. This has nothing to do with you. And maybe you were given bad advice by counsel. Vasselli has his issues in his history, but you cannot accept motions. You cannot call motions. You cannot call for executive sessions to go in or to come back and reconvene the meeting as you did from the 1st to the 3rd. You can give the oath to Ms. Henyard after one of the 3 remaining trustees of sound mind that night who wasn't feeling ill is elected supervisor pro temp for the night. Trustees can only vote. I see nothing but grift, corruption, spending money for an inauguration. Lori Lightfoot was there, wasn't she, at the inauguration? There are people out there in a recession, hungry, and you're spending $15,000 to sit on a queen chair. What? Yo, and you know those throne chairs? I need a receipt for that. Did he have a receipt? Those throne chairs are not that expensive, y'all. You can rent one for like a $200 to sit on a queen chair. That's not your role. Your role is public assistance. It's your job to direct that, not have parties, not have parades, provide to those that need it. Taking ZAP to Dolton only. Oh, you did Dixmoor one day, but having Thornton Township funds expended in Dolton only. That's why mayors are not supposed to be supervisors. You stole money from the township. There are 16 other towns that deserve the exact same treatment. Are you going to give it to them? Now, this was in, what day was this meeting? 9/27. So Tiffany had only became supervisor, what? 5 months? Okay. But this is what I don't get. Like, I think she had the taste of Thornton. I don't know what other parties, so I can't vouch for her. We'll have to look at that in a separate video, you guys, because that's what Frank did. I think she did the same events. Now, some of the stuff that she expounded on, like the Taste of Thornton, has been there over 20 years, you guys. That's why I'll never back down from that part. But stuff like, what was it? The Showtime at the Apollo, or the Father's, I think it was the Father's Day barbecue. It was something else that, was it Gospel Fest? I don't think Frank did Gospel Fest, but it was a lot of other stuff, but I don't know. Okay, that's not your role. Your role is public assistance. It's your job to direct that, not have parties, not have parades, provide to those that need it. Taking ZAP to Dolton only. Oh, you did Dixmoor one day, but having Thornton Township funds expanded in Dolton only. That's why mayors aren't supposed to be supervisors. You stole money from the township. There's 16 other towns that deserve the exact same treatment. Are you going to give it to them? I know this isn't a Q&A, Supervisor Henyard cautioned him, stating she would get him for defamation of character. Giglio stated, "You're an elected official. I could say what I want to." He exclaimed, "Sue me. You're wrong. I sat on this board. I went through contentious elections. I went through a very difficult times where we fought each other on the board, but we came up to an accord. You promising to follow in the footsteps of Frank Zuccarelli. You're spitting on his grave. Joke. Why did you show up at his house that afternoon? You hardly knew. And then you had a meeting the next day in Calumet City. Who'd you meet with to talk about how you were going to become the supervisor?" Y'all, go to the minutes. Go to the minutes. Everything you want to know is in the minutes. Stephanie Wiedemann mentioned she didn't have much this week, but she would come to the meeting every 2 weeks until she get a response concerning renaming the building and the statue. Oh, they were going to rename the building too? I didn't see that. I thought they were just... Wait a minute. Can I ask something? Why would we rename... See, I do... Okay, let me say this. Full disclaimer. Why would we rename a building? What were we going to rename it to? Oh, okay, because if we mad about Tiffany name being on a box, Frank Zuccarelli was not the first Thornton Township supervisor. He did pass away in office. So what we were going to name it? Frank Zuccarelli Building? I don't know about that. But I did like naming the street. He passed away in office. And I did like when I saw they were going to change because every time Frank had an event, Gift of Hope was there. They were going to change it from green to green and purple for the Gift of Hope. I thought that was really nice. And the statue is cool. Or a memorial. I think that's cool. But I don't know about naming Thornton Township, unless I have it wrong, Frank Zuccarelli Building. I don't know. You guys let me know. Now, one of the centers, so let's say the center of Riverdale, Thornton Township, then under it, Frank Zuccarelli or the building in Calumet City, because they're smaller, but I don't know if the main building should be named that. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. So then we got more people from Rucker Holdings. They came They came through. Carol Banks, Latanya Temple, Ernisha, Manuel, Shamika. Look, they came through. Look at these minutes. And then here come Keith Price. Keith Price explains that he is shocked by the behavior here. Seems like there's a witch hunt. We are at a township meeting and should be discussing township business. There are 17 municipalities, which means there are 17 mayors. They should be talking about coming into their cities or villages, not a township meeting. If the problem is with Dolton, then that should be handled in a Dolton meeting. I hope everyone learns how to work together because she is in this seat whether you like it or not. The end. Y'all, if you want to read bedtime stories and you crazy about Thornton Township and you around the clock following the Tiffany Henyard saga, it's very interesting and you can learn a lot from the minutes. And that's all I want to say about that. Like, really, I had a ball. Even when we get down to the $5,000. Okay, now I am not a numbers girl. I'm not a numbers girl. I only give you what I read, okay? So when she said we were in a deficit, then we're not in a deficit, I don't know, I don't know. Y'all, I'm confused about that myself. Okay. So this was new business. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve Resolution 22-R-016, a resolution authorizing the borrowing of an amount not to exceed $5 million. Trustee Jones asked if Finance Director Robert Hunt could give a brief overview of the resolution. The motion was made by Trustee Jones and seconded by Trustee Gray Everett. There being no further questions or comments, Supervisor Henyard asked Clerk Wells to call the roll. And here's the vote. The vote was unanimous, 5. Trustee Jones, Gonzalez, Gray Everett, Washington, and Supervisor Henyard. Now, I love the numbers people that they'll be able to give you the tea on that. I'm sorry I cannot be a little better there, but I would say if this is in January of 2023, why do we need to borrow money? Is that what made us go into brought us over out of a deficit? I don't know. Because why did we borrow money? I don't know. See, y'all, all those good content creators that really, really, really do really good work, you guys have the floor to go over these minutes. This will be content for years because this helped. Even the stuff that Frank approved back in the day, like the insurance. Y'all wanted to beat me up. Chris voted on the insurance. Nobody says nothing about it. No, Carmen never voted on the insurance because she wasn't on the board. Chris know he had to vote for that insurance. He know that. Okay, we know. Okay, then this is when they all got along. Look at all these 5 unanimous votes. Okay. Now look at here. Okay. All right. Now take with this as you will. Take with this as you will. This is only the minutes. Nobody was taping the meetings back then. Wasn't no Critical Smoker. Wasn't no Reality Check TV. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve hiring a full-time director of at-risk youth program. Now, wait a minute. Maybe because, the township is always filming because Emmanuel is there filming. Let me see if we can FOIA this. Because did they know who they were going to hire? Now, let's call the roll, y'all. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve hiring full-time director of at-risk youth program. Is Choose here with me? Choose, have my back? Have my back? Don't have my back. Correct me. I'm not saying don't have my, correct me if I'm wrong. Chastise me. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't understand this. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve hiring a full-time director of at-risk youth program. Now, we know that to be who? Kamal, right? Okay. All right. The motion was made by Trustee Washington and seconded by Trustee Jones. There being no further questions or comments, Supervisor Henyard asked Clerk Wells to call the roll. On a roll call, the vote was unanimous, 5 yeses. Trustee Jones, Gonzalez, Gray Everett, Washington, and Supervisor Henyard. Y'all, I could be all day with this. Now, did they know it was going to be Kamal? I don't know. Did they not know? I don't know. So when it became Kamal, that they voted for it. Now, if I'm wrong, just correct me, you guys. Tell me. You know what I mean? Let's go to it. This is right here. This is right here. They voted for it. So y'all mad that Habu is the full-time director at Risk Program? This is it. Didn't nobody say, well, who is going to be? And who in charge? Gotta go to the minutes. That's why them Dolton minutes never gonna see a light of day. Those Dolton minutes will show who really fired who. When all these people like Tiffany fired me, what was going on in closed session? Who approved the firing? Those minutes are never gonna see the light of day, y'all. What else they do this month? They did bank account, 5 yeses. Okay, we're getting there. Let's get to the statue, you guys. Hit the like button if you're still here. Lord, we're going to have to do a separate stream for Naziah because we are long-winded. So you guys waiting on the Naziah content, I'll probably come right back and just do that separately. So I'm not, so you guys aren't waiting. We'll just do that on a second stream because it's going to take me a couple of hours. So please consider subscribing so we could talk about the case of Naziah separately and give her that respect. Okay, so I didn't ever think we were going to be on here talking about Tiffany this long. Supervisor expressed that there was some great news for everyone who had the opportunity to meet Frank. The ballot referendums of November 8th election passed with flying colors. Clerk Wells gave an overview of the election results. These 3 referendums were approved and certified for November 8th ballot as at a previous meeting. Supervisor Henyard also informed everyone that she started a process to have a statue made for our late Supervisor Frank Zuccarelli. Wait, I'm not laughing at this. I'm not laughing at Frank. I'm laughing at she started the process. I think that's what we always say is a she, because with what money? You have to say we, because what money? Because the township is going to pay for this statue. Supervisor Henyard also gave an overview of the past coming events, such as our Veterans Day luncheon. Oh, that used to be at Blueberry Field. Then they went into closed session. And yeah, it's really cool. So what happened? So now she got a motion to, after they got out of closed session, they hired Maria. She's a full-time maintenance person. I want to say she also was in Dolton. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Maria was also in Dolton for the police station. It's a lot of interesting juiciness in these minutes, y'all. The proof is in the minutes. Let's look at that. So, yeah, it has to be a we, and I think she lost sight of that a little bit. Sorry, you guys, 44 people comments. I'm sorry, my eyes aren't moving that fast. Lady Luck Club said they should have done a background check before they approved Kamal, period. This was a bad decision. Yeah. They got rid of the Blueberry Field and put just ice. What? Dear woke. Is this it? No, I'm laughing, but is this a joke or what is it? Let me know. Are you talking about the field? Because just ice rink was just dirt. It was just dirt. It was nothing but bad grass and fields over there. So when she put the rink there, dear woke Christian, if you ever have time and you talk Thornton Township, you are a great person that breaks down the numbers and all. These minutes. Yeah, Keith, we're gonna do a second. You know what? Thanks for reminding me. Let me retitle this, because we got to give. We over here talking about Naziah. We have to really give that family their respect. I thought we were gonna just be able to zoom past Tiffany. I thought we were going to zoom past Tiffany and just, sorry, guys. I thought we were going to zoom past Tiffany and just get on with our business, but nope, it didn't work that way. Okay. Okay, is that better, Karen? Hey, Karen, good to see you. It's really good. It's really good, Dear Woke. You'll find a lot. So, Dear Woke, is that how we got to the $5 million? If we were in a deficit before she came, like she says, and now we're in a surplus, I have to, in my head, just thinking $5 million loan would then put us in a surplus, right? Technically. Because why do we have to borrow money? Choose, you got anything about that? Like, I'm just wondering. All we could do is read. We don't know. We don't know nothing. We just read in the minutes. And that's why, again, I'm going to tell you again, those Dolton minutes never going to see the light up day. Because those minutes going to reveal everything. It might see the light of day because election will be over and a lot of people attention spans. It's just, the whole thing is to get rid of Henyard. So nobody's really paying attention to anything, you know what I mean, in real time. They just okay, so let's talk about the buses. Okay, let's go to this. This is something good. Okay. So 2 people were absent this day. So they wanted to get new buses. Okay. So on this day, which is 3/23, Garda said it was not a deficit. So what we need a loan for, Wyoming? That's a good question, Lady Luck Club. We'll learn together. That's a good question. Wyoming, why did we need the loan? Okay, so now after we got the loan, so I'm going to say we got a payday loan, $5 million. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve acceptance of Enterprise Fleet Management Agreement. The motion was made by Trustee Gonzalez and seconded by Trustee Washington. Trustee Gonzalez asked for an overview of this agreement. Supervisor Henyard gave a brief overview of the reason for this agreement. The township's fleet is down as it relates to our buses. New equipment is needed for the transportation department to pick up our seniors. We usually purchase our vehicles. The supervisor is now suggesting we lease our vehicles. Dun, dun, dun. Where have we heard this? Where have we heard this in Dolton? See, I didn't even notice this. So this would be good for conscious. This is March 3rd, 2023, over here in the township. When did the Tahoe situation happen? When did we sign the lease? Who was the business person we signed a lease with? Like, we could do a whole breakdown. Did we start leasing from the same company? Like, did we all go to Bob Watson Chevrolet and we just went ahead and got all Tahoes for Bob Watson? Then we went and got all the Sprinter vans from Bob Watson too? I'm trying to figure it out. Okay. But if we used to purchase our vehicles, this is where this comes in. Why not just keep that same energy? Because the lease and what's that called, you guys? That finance charge is just too high. Let's just purchase it flat out. If we got the money, let's purchase it. Okay? But I'm not a politician. I'm not a boss, and so I don't know. So we usually purchase our vehicles. The supervisor is now suggesting we lease our vehicles because they do get old, and just in case something happen, we can rotate our fleet. Okay. I know people, hey guys, put in the comments, are you a leaser or a purchaser? Like, I know people that love to get the new, like they might have a lease from Mercedes because they want to keep their car 2 years and then get a new car. Are you a leaser or a buyer? Let me know. Keith Freeman, Senior. Oh, here we go. Keith, Senior Advisor to Supervisor Henyard, were asked to speak on the Enterprise Fleet Agreement. Oh, is this Enterprise Rent-A-Car? Because they do sell cars. I remember I was trying to buy a car from Enterprise before. I don't know. You YouTubers that are listening to me, we're all in the same little space. This might be something. I'm looking. Where's Tangerine? Where's Tangerine? Hashtag where's Tangerine? Because her name was signed on the Tahoe's agreement. Did we go to this same company? You know how it goes. I don't want to say pay for play. I don't want to say that, but hey, my cousin work up here at the car lot. We're gonna give them all this. What do you call it when you get commission for leasing all these vehicles? I don't know. This will be a good time to look to see if Thornton Township signed the same lease of the vehicles as Dolton did. For people that could do that, I think that would be great, great, great information. Mr. Freeman shared that the lease agreement was a yearly renewal, free maintenance. Oh, that's a plus. That's a plus. Free maintenance is included in the agreement. Oil change, tire rotation. Now I better not see nan oil change charge on these FOIAs. Choose. I better see nan oil change charge, okay? Because it says it right here in the minutes. We are in the lease agreement for the term of the vehicle. The good thing about enterprise fleet agreement is at the end of the agreement term, you can pay off the balance of the vehicle or trade the vehicle in. Okay, so those that lease, is that what you usually do? Let me know. I've never leased, but I know people that do, and they say it's the best. I've never leased, though. There being no further questions or comments, Supervisor Henyard asked Clerk Wells to call the roll. It was 3 yeses to leasing the vehicle. Gonzalez, yes. Washington, yes. Supervisor Henyard, yes. Jones and Gray Everett were absent, so the motion carried. Then she said she wanted the Zap camera. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve acceptance of the Great Line Communications proposal Zap camera. The motion was made by Trustee Gonzalez and seconded. That passed. So it's like so good. So then we approved the Road and Bridge Fund. So now, we're leasing. Oops, sorry, I was trying. Everything's public up in here, you guys. That was not on purpose. Let me take this off. Okay. This is public. This is what I think they stopped doing this with Tiffany came. So let's go. So supervisor allowed Nate Fields to speak. Mr. Fields commended the supervisor for her success. Let's see. I think I can do this here now. Okay. Now let's share it again. There you guys. There we go. Okay. Mr. Fields commended the supervisor for her success so far as being the supervisor. He spoke on behalf of coworkers regarding holiday bonuses and assistance for employees to get back and forth to work if needed. Now, true story. I verified this. Did you know that Thornton Township, these people were spoiled? Frank would take them if you didn't have a ride, they'd come pick you up in those buses. Now, if Tiffany did that, you know what I mean? I think that's a cool perk. But you had to live in a township, but they would pick you up or give you a vehicle to use. So this is Nate. I was like, I've never heard of such. If you can't get to work, you better get on the Pace bus. You better take a cab. Back in the day, it used to be Howard's Cab or something like that out here in Dolton. You better figure it out. But you would not be getting on the township bus. So the taxpayers not only was paying these people salaries, they were paying for them to get back and forth to work if needed. That is crazy to me, but I'm not. Hey, that's what Frank wanted to do. That's him. So on behalf of coworkers regarding holiday bonuses and assistance, now this is what Nate is advocating for employees to get back and forth to work if needed. Supervisor Henyard explained that the township is in a deficit. Okay. And they're working on something in the new year, cost of living increase. Supervisor Henyard encourages everyone to love on family and friends this holiday season. Okay. All right. The supervisor, hold on, y'all. The supervisor also informed everyone about the mental health facility located in Dolton at the old village hall. I need receipts. Mm-mm. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. I put some eyeballs in the chat. Anybody know how to? I need some receipts.
Ain't nobody gonna approve that. And
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I got some clothes. I got some jewelry. The rest I got tied up in investments. I ain't got nothing there.
Mm-mm.
More, you prayed us in on unity. You prayed us in, and it came with the most divisive speech I heard in my life. Don't pray for me no more.
What? Did anybody know this? Put the eyes in the chat. Can anybody verify this? I don't want to say it's not true. I am not the end all be all in Dolton. The supervisor, Dolton Village Hall. Remember I told you Village Hall looked like the house on Gremlins at the mayor's house? Remember on Gremlins when the mayor, when the Gremlins came and sang the caroling song and the lady went on a chair and the chair went up through the window? The old Village Hall looked like the haunting of Hill House. When the heck? I want to say this was the rumor that the carpet was so old and hasn't been changed that they started to get like little bugs getting in, the little bed bugs getting in the termites. The termites were getting in the carpet and they had to just shut it down. Can someone verify? The supervisor also informed, I'm not doubting it, I just didn't hear about it, everyone about the mental health facility located in Dolton at Old Village Hall is open to anyone in need of help. What? When did that happen? What? Did anybody? I'm here. Now, this is on record as of March of 2023. So not even 2 years ago. So the Old Village Hall, hold on. Is this Googleable? So we just was Dolton Village Hall mental health. I don't see nothing. That Village Hall. Somebody. Y'all, I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm scrolling. I am scrolling. Okay. See, these minutes will take you down a rabbit hole. That's why I cannot. What? It was an old Village Hall. What? Ask Gardis, because Gardis was the one that told everybody about he was at every board meeting asking about. Y'all, if you go down these minutes, it'll take you all day. Now, where did that come from? See, this is why people are like, oh, Tiffany's gonna. Tiffany announced is one YouTuber that she wanted to give an interview for. Two, I know who it is. It's not me. It's not me, and it's not who y'all would expect. It's not me. Because I would ask questions like this. I would be like, okay, so what happened to the mental health facility in Dolton at the Old Village Hall? Who ran it? Did the state run it? Did Thornton Township run it? When did y'all? How was it? Because I can take my camera and look through Village Hall window, and it looked like Slimer. Is that his name from Ghostbusters? It looked like Slimer is floating around. Is that his name? I forgot the little green thing on Ghostbusters. It looked like he floating around in there any day. Okay? It looked like cobwebs. It's what? It's papers everywhere. What? Okay. All right. This is why I hate to research. This is why now I could be wrong. Maybe there's something that someone interviewed Jason House can ask. You know, will you bring the mental health facility that was mentioned on this date back to the old Village Hall? Y'all hit the like button if you're here. You feel free to go to sleep at any time because I need a nap now. I gotta lay down. When did that happen? Did I miss that? Was I out of town? Who you gonna call? Oh, no, but that was a different one. It was something in Riverdale. It was like a facility in Riverdale. You could go in there for help. The township had a budget deficit for the 2022-50. The report is on the website. Thanks, Brandon. Brandon, can you send that to me? Because I'll try to mash it up. Because I was listening to Martin's show too, and someone was on there saying it was on the comptroller website too, and they were arguing about that's not right numbers. But who can we blame? You got to blame the comptroller. You can't blame Tiffany. I don't know, y'all. Say who you gonna call? Lord. Okay, let's go to some more stuff. These minutes are everything that you need to know to make a sound decision. So now at this point, let's go to May of 2023. I'm skipping over a lot, but now Miss Joyce Washington passed away. May she rest in peace. The longest standing trustee on the board. So Supervisor Henyard began the meeting with giving her appreciation and condolences for the late trustee Joyce Washington. She appreciated her for being a pillar of the community for as long as she could. She grew up with trustee Washington's kids. She will miss her and appreciates all the wisdom she instilled in her and the encouragement she gave her when she came into the seat she holds. She will be missed. Then everyone said how beautiful she is, how kind she was, and all of that stuff. Really good thing. Clerk Wells had something special to say, and all of a sudden, so Supervisor Henyard had the room express their love for each other in unity, saying, "I love you, and there's nothing you could do about it." And everyone put hearts up for Trustee Joyce M. Washington. Put the blue heart. That would have been me. Put the blue hearts up for Trustee Joyce. So Michael Delgado said, "Well, now that that's over." He gives an overview of the legal process of appointment to fill the vacancy of Trustee Washington by warrant of appointment. Like Trustee Joyce, she didn't even get public comment for 10 minutes. Then they went right into Trustee Jones entertained a motion to nominate Carmen Carlisle to the appointment of trustee to fill the vacancy. Now, what was Carmen Carlisle? What was her credentials? Not ragging on her. Who decided to nominate her? Why nobody else was able to nominate? See, this is what we have to discuss with everything. This goes for both sides. Tiffany couldn't get up there, nominate herself. They took the voice away from the people during the close to midnight vote, and they nominated Tiffany then. Napoleon took away her nomination, for lack of a better word, and the people couldn't get in. It's a lot of that, So right here, we're with Carmen Carlisle. The motion to nominate Carmen Carlisle to appoint of trustee to fill the vacancy. The motion was made by Trustee Jones and seconded by Trustee Gray Everett. This is only, you guys, I'm not making this up. This is history. This is the minutes. So I only can report what's going on, okay? So hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you like this kind of content. There being no questions or comments, Supervisor Henyard asked Clerk Wells to call the roll. Guess who? Choose compassion. Are you in the house? Guess what happened? Our good friend Chris, once again, Chris Gonzalez, on a roll call, they said Carmen Carlisle is about to be trustee. Guess who said no? Jones said yes. Gray Everett said yes. Supervisor Henyard said yes. And remember, Washington has now gone on to glory, rest her soul. So we can't get her. It's 5 people on the board. What did Gonzalez say? No to Carmen Carlisle. Put the eyeballs in the chat. Put the eyeballs in the chat. Can you see? Do you see what I see? I can't see, but do you see what I see? Gonzalez said, hold up, wait a minute. Who is Carmen Carlisle? And why are we just got finished saying rest in peace to Joyce. We don't even have the funeral plan. We don't know who's bringing the chicken to the repast. And y'all said put Carmen in this seat. The only person that said no was Gonzalez. How do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel about that? Is he someone that has his own voice? Is he someone that takes an opportunity? I think so, yeah. But is he also someone that has his own voice and makes his voice heard? Like when he did not vote to fire Stephanie? Yeah, both can be true. Is he a politician through and through? Yep. But does he make sure even if he's standing by himself, he'll just stand there? After reading the minutes, I say yeah. How do y'all feel about that? Then Clerk Wells said, call the roll. The motion carried. Nobody even know. Nope. Now nobody at the this is me in my head. Nobody sitting in the audience, but Gardis Watts in the Lancet Journal. Because this is before people were coming to the board meetings. That's it. Nobody else. Maybe Keith Price. But nobody, maybe Carmen Mama. But nobody else was sitting there. Carmen Friend. But that's it. Yeah. I'm willing to give people space to make decisions. I think so. I feel like he needs to go back and run his businesses. Shouldn't be on the board. I can agree. I think he made a mistake, you know, and he should just go ahead and run his businesses. But that steady paycheck, choose. You know how that is. Sure says, I would have said no. Carmen had been a yes girl to Tiffany up until then. Chris thought she was a cahoots with Tiff. Okay. I don't know, Karen. She said she was on Tiffany's side. Oh, why she, oh yeah, because she would have been what do they call it now? A rubber stamp vote. But look at how times change. Like I said, that history, you never know how things go to turn around. To be honest, he could tell her that he said no because of the lack of qualifications or credentials. I guess so. Yeah, sounds like communication amongst the board meeting members is highly lacking. They used to make you say, yeah, these minutes. Hey, potato. That's co-mingling. Businesses equal pay for play. Thanks for that, Choose. Hey, I will not argue with that. That is true. You shouldn't be, like I was saying, a lot of people look at Ed Steve and Stay Focused Media. Stay Focused Media logo should not be all over the Village of Dolton website, in my opinion. It shouldn't. That's my thoughts. I just don't think it should be that. He should be the media director, the trustee, and getting paid as the photographer or whatever at that time, at a period of time. I think that's too much. But that's how Dolton was run. I can't just put it on him. Think about when Riley was in office. Most of the trustees had 2 jobs. Water department, trustee. Housing department. And I'm not talking about committees. Housing department, trustee. Working at Public Works, business part of Public Works. Selling stuff to Public Works. job as a media rep and job as trustee. It's just too much. But that's what's been happening. Look at Tiffany. Tiffany turned around. Hey, Keith, you gonna be over here in Dolton, Keith Freeman. Then I'm gonna bring you over here in Thornton. That's too much. Then your wife gonna make the pluggers for everything. Your wife gonna be on the she was doing like the pluggers and the signs and all that stuff. That's too much. It's just y'all was doing too much. Everybody was doing too much. Let's go to the next thing. So do you see, put the eyeballs in the chat. Trustee Jones, they signed her on in. Okay. So after that, so now now this is interesting. They swore her in right there. So Stephanie got sworn in, but her board meeting is not until next week, right? Look how interesting this is. Trustee Carlisle got sworn in on, what's this? July of 2023. Now hear me out. No. May 31st, 2023. Wait, do I have it right? Yeah, May 31st, 2023. Now look at this. Look at these minutes, guys. Look at these minutes. This is very interesting. If someone does the Stephanie Wiederman appointment versus the Carmen Carlisle appointment, this is very interesting. Now, if you guys are still with me, let me know. So look. So it carried. He said no. Right? They appointed her in the beginning of the meeting, right? Hold on, is this it? Oh yeah, they put it. Okay, so the beginning of the meeting. Look how slick this is. Now, and I'm not saying that the supervisor did it or the board are doing it, but look how slick this is. Y'all keep your eye on this. These minutes are amazing. So, Delgado say, here go the legal process of the appointment. Boom, bars. Then they nominate Carmen Carlisle. Remember, she gets the highest paid. This is the ordinance. She's the highest paid trustee right now because she gets Joyce salary, just like Tiffany gets, according to the ordinance, she should. Just like Tiffany Henyard got Frank's salary, right? Because they're finishing that term. So Trustee Carlisle is finishing out Joyce Washington's term. She's never been elected. Okay. Gonzalez says no. Then Clerk Wells say, here go the oath. Now, remind you, we already know who we're gonna pick. Took the voice away from the people. We put the blue hearts up. I mean, the hearts up, and I love you and nothing you could do about it for Joyce. We don't even know when the homegoing is yet, y'all. We doing all this. Joyce, rest in peace. Then Trustee Jones, he congratulates Carmen. And then they approve minutes, right? From the last meeting. And look who is approving minutes. How are you even approving minutes and you weren't even there? Look at this, y'all. You weren't even a trustee yet. Supervisor Henyard. Now, can this happen? I'm not a legal person. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve minutes of the regular Board of Trustee meeting held May 9th, 2023 at 6 p.m. The motion was made by Trustee Gray Everett and seconded by Trustee Jones. There being no questions or comments. It should have been because, okay, Supervisor Henyard asked Clerk Wells to call the roll. On the roll call, Trustee Jones said yes. Gonzalez said yes. Gray Everett said yes. Carlisle says yes. Girl, you weren't even a trustee. Did you see the minutes? Now, this is the same Trustee Carlisle that say, I couldn't this stuff 2 days ago and I need time to process it and look through everything. She's approving the minutes. I don't think that she had just abstained because she doesn't even, they approved the minutes and then Supervisor Henyard. Y'all, that's how fast it happened. Then they went on to adopt a 23-24 budget. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to adopt the 2023 and 2024 budget and appropriation ordinance of 23-001 for Thornton Township General Assistance Fund. The motion was made by Trustee Jones and seconded by Gray Everett. There being no questions or comments, Supervisor Henyard asked Clerk Wells to call the roll. Look at your boy. Look at your boy. Yes was. This is wrong. Yes is Trustee Jones said yes. Gray Everett said yes. Carlisle said yes. And Supervisor Henyard. It should have been 4 yeses. Yes, yeses. And then get your boy right here again. No. We're going to have to put a little screen. Every time I do the minutes, we're going to have Chris Gonzalez face pop up like, no. Carlisle know nothing about the budget yet. Okay. Look how slick this was. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to adopt the 2023-20. I would have loved for this video. I got to find this video. I have to FOIA this. Budget and appropriation ordinance of 23-002 for Thornton Township General Fund. The motion was made by Trustee Carlisle and seconded by Trustee Gray Everett. There being no questions or comments, Supervisor Henyard asked Clerk Wells to call the roll. Here go no. Trustee again. The motion carried, but Carlisle voting yes. Supervisor Henyard approved the Road and Bridge Fund. All 5 of them said yes. Then all of a sudden they did a local government efficiency program committee for Thornton Township. I don't know what that was supposed to do. Carlisle voting her yes up. Then she said to learn how to learn government, and she told us what was going on, all the special event, and that's it. Okay, so how did y'all feel about that? That was a lot. And okay, what time did this meeting start? It adjourned at 7:26. Y'all, in 1 hour, we said rest in peace, Joyce. Passed three budgets, appointed a new trustee all in an hour. We can't even get through public comments in an hour now. Oh my goodness. What did y'all have to say about this? This is very interesting. This is very look, where's my soundboard? I need to learn how to work this soundboard. This is wild. This is wild. In 1 hour, we said rest in peace, Joyce, appointed a new person, passed three budgets, approved the minutes, and didn't even know nothing about the minutes. She was like, yeah, I approve them. Wow, this is interesting. Well, y'all want to have time? If y'all have time, let me tell you, the minutes is better than the Young and the Dolton list. Okay, these minutes, these minutes will not. I stand on this. These Dolton minutes. These Dolton minutes are never gonna see the light of day. Okay, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. No way, no how, no ma'am. It shows you everything that's going on in everything but closed session a lot of times, but you see the results when you leave closed session. And Clerk Wells is not even running again. She burnt out. She'd have told y'all could have that baby. Y'all could have this, okay? I don't have time. I got a man at home. My man, the mayor. I ain't got to worry about it, okay? I don't even know if he's the mayor anymore, but I know he was on the South Suburban board. She's like, I don't have to worry about this. Y'all can have that baby. Y'all can have all this fighting amongst each other, stressed out. Yeah, she said y'all can have that. Let's see what else happened. Let me see. Let me see what else I want to bring up before we end this. I thank y'all for joining me. We're gonna do a separate stream for Desire. We did not expect to be on here this long. We went down a rabbit hole and got stuck there. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if this. Let's see if this is what we want to talk about here. Is this it? Let me see if this is the one I want to go over. I just feel bad that so many people are just hurt by this political fight. And it's not just us. I've been reading up on other municipalities. Oh, thank you, Patrick. Thank you so much. I didn't have my phone by me. If you're still listening, I appreciate you so much. I did not know that so many people will be affected by politics. I wasn't paying attention. You know what I mean? I will be totally, but it's getting nasty all over the Southland. And I'm like, nobody's seemed to had a problem with anybody until election time, and it got really nasty. In a lot of the other places, right? It's interesting. It's interesting. Let me see if this is the one, you guys. I'm trying to find the right one for you. This is very okay, let's go over this. This wasn't the one I was looking for, but if you guys make sure you thumbs up if you like this kind of content. This wasn't what I was looking for, but I find this is my first time. I glanced over this, and this is my first time. And thanks for all you guys' input. We communicate over here, so I don't know if y'all knew that. We communicate over here. Your voice matters over here. It's just we respect one another, okay? So as long as we can respect one another, we could go. Thank you, Shauna. I appreciate you. We could get it. You know, I think everybody has valid questions. Y'all open my eyes to a lot of things. I'm not against or for anyone publicly. I think that we all should. I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for. I think that should be up to you. So over here, I'm not team nothing. But I don't think, if you guys didn't know, I don't think Tiffany did all this by herself. Like, I think she gets blamed for a lot, but it wasn't all by herself. And then the more I read about stuff, I'm like, oh, so the proof is in the minutes. The proof is in the minutes. And then if you look at what's going on at Sauk Village, y'all see the same players. I'm not kidding you. I have been invited to Sauk Village numerous times. I haven't made it out there. You see those same players. Those same people pulling the strings in the background. They all fighting. Calumet City, weird. It's strange. I could never be a politician. Okay, so let's go to this one. So this was Tiffany was 7 months in. Make sure I got it right. A little over 6 months in. So Ruby Donahue, she was a Human Relations Commission member of 23 years, made brief comments concerning the transition of power here at the township within the past 9 months. She feels the image of Thornton Township has diminished. She expresses residents aren't satisfied Residents are satisfied with the diversification status. Mrs. Donahue would like to see an improvement on diversity, equality, and edification throughout the township. Stephanie Wiederman asked about the status of, here's Stephanie again, the statue and renaming of the building for Frank. Supervisor Henry replied, one of my administrators will reach out to you. Okay. So here go John Kasparic. He did a whole report, okay, for the February 2028. He said, semi-annual check examination and tax refund check. Now, if you guys recall, he now says he can't approve anything. It's kind of weird. So I guess that's when that Lori Lightfoot report would come in handy on the 27th. Kasparic explained the process of voiding and reissuing checks. Okay, wait a minute now. Trustee Jones asked a few questions on being about the, thank you, Keefus, being about the time frame of the tax refund checks becoming void or stale checks. John Kasparic explained the process of voiding and reissuing checks. Mr. Kasparic made sure to thank the Director of Finance, Robert Hunt, and his staff and the township for their faith, confidence, help, and support over the years. They can't do it alone. Okay, so he was leaning on Robert. Y'all, Robert is super smart. Robert went to Ivy League. He is super duper smart. John Kasparic gave an overview of the annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal years of February 28, 2022. He made the mention that this report falls under the prior administration. Trustee Jones expressed that in the 9 years he's been here, the professionalism and manner in which you've made sure they were financially responsible is greatly appreciated. Trustee Washington also thanked John Kasparic. So one of my good friends over here, Choose Capesha, she always mentions the Kasparic group. So this is where they were in 2022 with it, Choose. So then she asked to approve the minutes. Then they approved some bills. And Supervisor Henyard said, Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve the bills of the General Fund, General Assistance Fund, and Road and Bridge Fund. Now, this is 2022, as presented to the board for payment. The motion was made by Trustee Gray Everett, and there was not a second. There being no second, the motion failed. Supervisor Henyard commented they were going to closed session about this. Y'all gonna get a whooping. So then Supervisor Henyard mentions she is big on repairing infrastructure within our 17 municipalities. She advocated for funds when she became supervisor for our roads. The Invest in Cook grant got awarded to the Township Highway Commissioner. The supervisor asked everyone to join in on giving congratulations to Highway Commissioner Gary Depew. Expressed his appreciation for the supervisor going after. So Gary said, that's Peppy. He expressed his appreciation for the supervisor going after this grant for him and all that help. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve Resolution 22-R-014 for intergovernmental agreement with Cook County, a $200,000 award to repair Thornton Township's roads. The motion was made by Trustee Gray Everett and seconded by Trustee Jones. There being no question or comment, Supervisor Henyard asked Clerk Wells to call the roll. Okay. So I wonder which streets got repaired. This is interesting. Guys, the streets could have got repaired back then. I would like a report on that. But let me tell you, if you're not from Chicago, the trucks and the salt and the ice, everything is just rough on the street. Okay. So Supervisor Henyard gave thanks to God, asked for everyone to stay prayed up. She gave out words of encouragement and thanked everyone, especially the youth. She is big on the youth, y'all. I really didn't see a lot of stuff happening, but now it's like I do both sides. So forgive me. I am asking why, if she's so big on the youth, why did Kamal not give reports on the youth grant? That would have been really cool, especially with all the criticism that come with their relationship and appointing him in that position. He should have been given reports. That's why I mean, she just has bad advisement, or either she's like, whatever, I'll do what I want. I don't know. She thanked the board of trustees for their support. Supervisor Henyard mentioned upcoming events on every Thursday. You will be able to enjoy an array of family fun, field game nights, or dance classes. She also mentions the food pantry and food boxes that are being distributed to the residents will always include fresh produce. That was something she did too. She changed it from canned items to fresh items. Again, here you girl. I know y'all be getting upset. Frank did a lot of canned items, but canned items have, even though the nutritional value is not as good, it has a longer shelf life. So like I got some greens the other day and I forgot to cook them, you guys. I didn't cook them on Sunday. By the time Thursday came, I had to throw them out and it was a big waste. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe I don't know, because it's dignity in being able to get your fresh produce. You know what I mean? And not just getting shoved a bunch of canned, sugary, and, carbonated and, but I don't know if it was good enough for the budget. So that's something we got to think about. But I thought that was pretty cool. They also started implementing featured meal of the month. The box will include everything you need for a home cooked meal. The supervisor is only interested in all things positive and wants to see positivity expressed. She is not willing to listen to anything opposite. No, you can't say that. Ooh, these minutes are going to get me in trouble. You can't say that. I know what she means. I know what she meant. But the supervisor is only interested in all things positive and wants to see positivity expressed. She is not willing to listen to anything opposite. You're gonna have criticism. You're gonna have criticism. You're gonna have it. She expressed that all races and ethnicities are free to come and join us here at the township. We are one band, one sound. Hey, drumline. Please be open to change. Change can be hard, but change is needed. Having great people around will always keep you grounded. Supervisor Henyard vowed from this day forward she would give it her all. Supervisor asked for all to focus on self, not what others think or say of you. Okay. So then they went to closed section. Then let's see if they approve the bill. So then they went to closed session, right? Then they approved the bill. So somebody said something back then. Everybody said, yay. She like, y'all gonna approve this. Maybe she had on the Nino Brown outfit back then when she went to closed session. She got them right together. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to say it. I'm sitting over here like, dang, they came out. We sorry now. Apologize. We sorry, mama. Okay. We sorry. We sorry, mama. We'll do better. Man, these minutes are something else. Let's see what y'all say. Hey, Amina. With grants, reporting is to the grant maker. A report could be asked for some of the state that gave the youth violence prevention grant. Okay. Dear Woke Christmas. I'm sorry. Dear Woke Christmas. That could be like a special. Dear Woke Christian Christmas special next year. She just doing what she wants to do. I don't think she has advisement. It could be. Keefe says, it's not cost effective for a food pantry to only provide fresh foods. Okay. Thanks, Keefe. All right, so we learning everything. We're learning a lot. Y'all, these minutes, man. I wonder if I haven't heard back. Let me see if I heard back from the guys. Let me text them back to see who's gonna be up there. Who's gonna be up there today for the who's gonna be thank you guys. You guys are really coming through. Thank you so much. Bought me a coffee. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna call Rico and see if he's gonna be there. Not sure if Critical's gonna be there. Not sure if the Lancet Journal. Usually they'll do that meeting at 1:15. I don't know if I really want to go, you guys. I know I should if no one else is doing it, but I don't know. It gets really lengthy. Oh, sorry guys. It gets really lengthy. Okay. This is y'all, she went that closed session. She said, thank you, Keith. That she went that closed session. She said that hold on. Mm-mm. She got a switch. She said, y'all go act right in front of company now. Y'all gonna get to acting right in front of company. You ain't gonna start this mess. I just get here now. Y'all wanna I'm not approving nothing. You gotta approve it and you gotta like it. Okay. If you know, that's just us. Okay. So this is Tiffany's basically her first day back. Now she's just back. Now this, okay. All right, this April 12th. She called a roll. This 2022. She only a month in. So here go the approval of minutes. Okay. Christopher Gonzalez is absent. So Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to combine the bills of the general fund, right? And they approved it. Chris is absent. Chris is absent again. So this is very interesting. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve the bills of the general fund, general assistance fund, road and bridge fund, okay, excluded reference number 161 of general funds bills, Eaglewood Resort and Spa, as presented to the board for payment. Now, somebody went on a spa trip, and it wasn't Tiffany. And they spent about what? $18,000. They went on a spa trip. Okay, it wasn't Tiffany. Okay. And it got billed and the taxpayers had to pay for it. Okay. Now this was pre-Tiffany. It wasn't Tiffany. The taxpayers had to pay for it. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve the Eaglewood Resort and Spa because the people were looking for their payment, presented to the board for payment. The motion was made by Trustee Washington. Now, this trip happened right before Frank passed away. I think it was like November of 2021. So it was not Tiffany that attended this trip. Tiffany did not bill this trip. Okay. Okay, now listen. Trustee Jones explained he was aware after the fact, but to his knowledge, management team was given permission to utilize such services. We know that this shouldn't have happened and should never happen again, but the managers were invited on this retreat and did what they were instructed to do. It is unfortunate what happened in the past, and I definitely don't want to see this happen again in the future, but at the same time, it happened already, and we, as a township, are responsible for this. I repeat, Tiffany didn't go on this trip. Tiffany did not build this trip. Okay? They was kicking it, getting their nails done, hair done, feet done, cucumbers on the eyeballs. Okay? Trustee Washington agrees what's done is done, but in the future, we cannot pay for spas. But I say we should pay the bill. Robert Hunt, Director of Finance, explains that the bill is around $14,000. Okay? Y'all taking notes? Taxpayer dollars. Where's the outrage? Okay? The board can decide to exclude the spa portion since the room and board is also... No, they didn't spend the night. Conference or not. Everybody went on a trip and on the taxpayer dollar. Sound familiar? They didn't go to Vegas, but they went on a taxpayer dollar. It is also included in the total. Director Hunt highly recommends this is an option, but being no further questions or comments, Supervisor Henyard said, call the roll. So 2 yeses. Trustee Jones at Washington, well, we could tell who went. Hit the like. I'm sorry, y'all. Hit the like button. I don't know if they went. Trustee Gray Everett, we could see who didn't go. And look, this is the appropriate thing. Supervisor Henyard, she passed. She just said, I don't want to do with it. And then Chris was absent, so it failed. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve Eaglewood Resort with the spa amount excluded for payment. Okay. The motion was made by Trustee Jones and seconded by Trustee Gray Everett. Cucumbers on the eyes and all, y'all. Supervisor Henyard wanted everyone to know, from my mouth to your ears, when the board encounters such situations, we will put it out to the public so you all understand that we are being transparent and that sometimes we don't know, which is no excuse, but that money was spent. Now this is interesting. I have put, now see, this is why you have to go, history is so important. I have put a spending cap in place for anything over $100. Must have prior approval. That's a low amount. Do we still have that? Is that what we're doing right now? Is this what we're doing? This is why history is important. So she says, I have put a spending cap in place for anything over $100 must have prior approval. We have checks and balances in place to keep this from happening in the future. That's what she said. Trustee Gray, that's what our supervisor said. Trustee Gray Everett asked if there is a resolution to get the spa portion paid. Question. Supervisor Henyard responded, we currently don't have a resolution, but we will come up with a plan to pay the spa. Trustee Jones asked, since there is a spending cap, what will happen in the future to prevent the management team from going somewhere and authorizing something like this? Y'all heard that? Supervisor responded, everything will come before my desk and I will sign off on it beforehand. Supervisor Henyard also explained, no one can go spend any money. No one has credit cards. We canceled all credit cards. We canceled anything dealing with Amazon. Do y'all got y'all notepad out? This is what she said. This is on the record. We cancel anything. This is for Thornton Township now, not Dolton, but Thornton Township. No one has credit cards. This is the board meeting of April the 12th, 2022. No one has credit cards. We canceled all credit cards. We canceled anything dealing with Amazon just so we can be transparent and people can stop buying my minute things. I think she means minute. I don't know. Trustee Washington asked who authorized the spa. Supervisor Henyard answered that it was an individual that no longer works here. Supervisor Henyard let Trustee Washington know that we can revisit this. There being no further questions or comments, call the roll. Trustee Jones said yes, yes, yes. Gray Everett said yes, and Supervisor Henyard said yes. Trustee Washington said no. Chris Gonzalez was absent. Okay. These minutes, y'all, reading Rainbow. If you want a bedtime story. So then they went in closed session about personnel, right? They entered at 8:05. They came out at 8:24. Okay. They said they wanted appointment of an authorized agent under IMRF. Okay, Supervisor Henyard asked Attorney Vasselli to give an overview. He did that. Trustee Jones, they said all employees are born in March. Happy birthday. They adjourned the meeting. Okay. All right. Let me tell you. Take a look. It's in a book. Okay. And when you follow this stuff, when you follow this stuff, you'll be sitting up here. Now, this is what happened because remember, Chris was gone. Okay. Now, look what happened when Chris came back the following week. I'm just going to go. This is the 26th. That'll be 2 weeks later. Okay. They went to closed session. Look what they did. They hired people and went from part-time to full-time. Could we afford that? A motion to approve Lakeisha Baker for part-time to full-time. Okay. They all went through with that. Yes. They all said yes. Then they went to approve someone named Washington to full-time. They all said yes, except for trustee. Oh, wait a minute. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve Farrah Washington to full-time. The motion was made by trustee Jones, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. All yeses except for trustee Washington. I wonder if it was any kind of relation. Then resignation of Eugene in India, right? Then all of a sudden, she entertained a motion to abolish the COVID team and lay off full-time employees. All said yes except for trustee Washington. Then she made some more this was a lot of hiring. Part-time to full-time. Transportation drivers. They all went to full-time transportation drivers. It was crazy. It was a whirlwind. And for the next 3 months, I think it was, everybody was hired and fired on the record. On the record, you guys. Hey, Amelia, did I say hello? Wait a minute. Are you telling me that Tiffany Henyard said this? Yes. She said, I'm getting rid of all of the credit cards. Cleanup man said, the more you know. Wait, was she canceling credit cards right after she fired Carmen? She didn't fire Carmen. She didn't fire. Am I missing what you're saying, Cher? Henyard observed how previous people spent money, then took it to another level. You finished my sentence. What did I miss? I missed something. Hey, Monica, I missed something, you guys. Let me know what I missed. Because I didn't see her fire Carmen. That was in 2022. So Carmen technically wasn't there yet. Joyce was still around. Let's see. This one, let's see. Let's go to one more before we go. Let's see. I wanted to find the one. Ooh, the fire at the park. Remember, it was a horrible fire at the park over there in Calumet City. The apartments, the condos. Let's go to this. Let's see if we can hit the like button, you guys. Let's see if we can get to this part. We'll do a part 2 of this later this week. Is it this one I want to share? Okay. So this is September of 2022. Remember, Tiffany still new. Supervisor Henyard entertained a motion to approve A, B, and C on a consent agenda. A, should a portion of Wassail Avenue, I hope I'm saying it right, Wassail Avenue, next to the township building, be renamed to the Honorable Frank Zuccarelli Drive? B, October 29th, Frank Zuccarelli birthday, be declared a Thornton Township holiday? C, should the Thornton Township logo be changed to include more purple in honor of Frank Zuccarelli's work with the Gift of Hope? Now, this is what Supervisor Henyard entertained, okay? The motion. The motion was made by Trustee Gray Everett, seconded by Trustee Washington. Trustee Jones stated, even though, let me quote, hold on, let me take a sip of my coffee. Quote, end quote. Hold on, let me make it big for y'all. Hold on. My eyeballs. Okay. The motion was Y'all can make it all that's what she said jokes you want. I already know I messed up. I walked into that one. The motion was made by Trustee Gray Everett, seconded by Trustee Washington. Trustee Jones stated, even though these resolutions are in honor of Frank Zuccarelli and have a lot of merit as a trustee / elected official of Thornton Township, I'm in opposition of it because I'm not a politician. I'm an elected official, end quote. And then he continues, period. I don't want to honor a person who spent almost 30 years at a township by doing shenanigans or tricks for the ballots regarding his name. Jerry said that on the record. Supervisor Henyard opened the floor to any other questions. Supervisor Henyard stated, no one is doing any politics, trickery, or anything as it relates to Frank Zuccarelli. That man was great to all 17 municipalities. Okay. All right, hold on, because let me make sure I'm reading this right. That's what he said. This what she said. This what Supervisor Henyard said. No one is doing any politics, trickery, or anything as it relates to Frank Zuccarelli. That man was great to all 17 municipalities. End quote. She says, I thought it would be best to give the people's opinion of what we are making the biggest decisions of these 3 items. Before we decide, I thought put it to the voters. Put it to the voters. Let the voters decide if we should do these things because we all came up with the great ideas as it relates to Frank M. Zuccarelli's name. That's the reason for this. Other than that, you can put up any 3 different referendum questions. If no one wants to do that 3, that's on the agenda today. That's the reason for it, to get the people's input before we make any changes. That way, if the people say yes or if they say no, then we don't do it. It's up to the people. That's why these are on the agenda as advisory questions, similar to a survey. There being no further questions, call the roll. Okay? 3 yeses, Washington, Gray Everett, Supervisor Henyard, 1 no. Trustee Jones, Gonzalez was absent. Now, can you believe Trustee Jones said that on the record? He said no. He said no. So I want y'all to remember that wink. Remember him saying no to Zuccarelli. Okay? You got to look at all this history. Now, the whole time, what do you hear Tiffany say? Whether you believe it or not, what did Tiffany say? No, I think we should do this for him. He was a great man. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. That's on the record. Now, later we did hear her say they all was stealing. I'm not taking that away. We're doing the history, okay? So let me get up out of here because I want to see who's going to be up there today and get all situated for this 1:15 meeting. I don't know if I'll stream. I don't feel like it's a lot of energy to do that stuff. I'm sure it'll be other. Nowadays, it's not like the olden days when it was just a few of us streaming. Now, everyone's streaming. So, you'll find it somewhere. It's a Thanks, dear one Christian. We look, y'all. I just report the news. That's what I've been trying to say for the longest. But I understand people want you to just do what they want you to do, but you don't even have to take my word for it. Go to the minutes. Chavis, I was just gonna text you. Thank you for the super chat. I was just gonna text you. How you doing? I was just gonna text you and see how you doing. How you and Mrs. Greener is doing. We appreciate you. Chavis will be coming in with his new channel soon. He made a promise this year. So we shall see. Like, this is very, very interesting. If you want to look at the old Thornton Township meetings, connect the dots. Look at what's going on. You know, it's really interesting. So I'm gonna leave out with a couple of videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Just look out for one another and go from there. Like I said, we can look at it 2 different ways. We could say Tiffany's the problem, but we could say everybody's the problem. Everybody's the problem. Tiffany did not just sit up there and fire everybody by herself. It went through board approval. That's why we will never probably see those minutes in Dolton. Never, ever, ever. That's why people are fighting to see the minutes. Yeah, we see the video, but what happened after closed session? What was approved? You know, why we don't get those videos from Village Hall anymore? Nobody even asked where the money, they right. But where's the money from the Dolton Trustees YouTube page going to? Does it go back to the campaign? That's their right if so. What's happening? Like, what's going on? What's the tea? Tiff Speaks is not monetized. A lot of this stuff is monetized. Just questions. Why did Dolton just stop streaming anyway? Tiffany should want her streams live, even when the public comment too. She should want it live. It should be on the Dolton Village of Dolton website. You know what I mean? Y'all, save us all, y'all. So we'll see. Let me know. Let me know if you think. Do you think the twins gonna be successful today? You think they're gonna be successful in getting Napoleon kicked off the ballot? I know one thing. That's probably my only thing. It's gonna be so long in there. It's gonna be so long in there. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can handle it. Okay. Let's go ahead and end this with a video. I love you guys. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Pray for Dolton, you guys. Pray for Dolton. Warning, this video is not suitable for all ages. Only Chicago Southsiders from the 90s would understand.
Last time on The Awakening.
So you take care of me, my little business proposition. I'm gonna take care of you.
I nominate Tiffany Henyard for Township Supervisor.
You are making a mockery out of this for real. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is ridiculous. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Gray Everett?
Yes.
And she has to sign the warrant, and then she's got to take the oath in 9 minutes. Let's go.
Put your hands together for your new township supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
How can she do that?
Y'all can have them there, baby. Y'all can have that
Wow. That's in the books. That's gone. Wow. Wow.
already done mine. Well, I want to say congratulations to my good friend, Cassandra. I love her to death. I want her to have the very best 4 years. And y'all make sure y'all watch out for her. Stay tuned.
We got her.
And then Frank Zuccarelli, I want to say congratulations to you. I'm praying that you're molding someone to take over next. Yeah, but like think about that. And thank you for all your support.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Back in the day, going old school, it used to be one only newspaper that was there, news outlet, and that's the Lansing Journal. They were following the Thornton Township meetings, and they were there when Tiffany Henyard got appointed. So I want to shout out to them. You know, it was a thing before we came along with our selfie sticks and our cell phones and our vlogging days. So shout out to them for following through every time. So you guys, this will be a series because I'm really intrigued about how the relationships broke within a Thornton Township. It was such long-standing relationships, and it just went downhill. So this is just a short video, but I know a lot of people had commented on the part 1 of this video about how Tiffany possibly backstabbed Miss Cassandra Elston. I've been intrigued by the Thornton Township minutes of the meetings, and it's a lot of things you'll find in those minutes. Clerk Wells did an amazing job. Thank you so much. But I want to talk about how Miss Elston, who we saw publicly, numerous people said Frank Zuccarelli was putting her in position after he retired to become the next supervisor, allegedly. Let's go to that nomination night. Number 1, the first nomination was Miss Cassandra Elston, and guess who made it? The person that I'm guilty as well. We blame all the time, Chris Gonzalez. Chris Gonzalez nominated Cassandra Elston. Trustee Gray Everett seconded, and then the votes were called. Jerry Jones abstained. Trustee Gonzalez said yes. Trustee Gray Everett said yes, and Trustee Washington, may she rest in peace, as well as Frank Zuccarelli, said no. Okay? Then, all of a sudden, so that motion failed. So Washington, let's not even go through all that. Let's go to the next one. So the third nomination of the night was Gonzalez nominated Elston again. But the nomination was overlooked because of the discussion about going into closed session because it was getting close to midnight and they could not come with a decision. So a motion into closed session was voted down. Okay. Then they went on down to the 7th nomination of the night. Trustee Gonzalez renominated Cassandra Elston, our assessor. Gray Everett, she re-seconded again, and then the votes were called. Jerry Jones abstained. Trustee Gonzalez said yes. Gray Everett said yes. And Washington, she said no. So 3 votes were not made. So then Trustee Washington, she nominated herself, and it didn't go well as well. And then at 11:48, Gonzalez nominated Tiffany Henyard, and that's how we got to Tiffany Henyard. So technically, they took the vote away from the people, if people want to say that. But I'm wondering if they could have nominated Cassandra one more time, or possibly went into that closed session to talk about Miss Elston. It's almost like she was super qualified and everyone knew that Frank wanted her to run it, but no one gave her that third vote, you know? So whatever God designs, he designed. And Tiffany Henyard became the supervisor right before midnight. It was like 12 minutes, right? So she only had like 7 minutes to sign her declaration. And I just want to know your thoughts. When you see this, what do you see? It's a group of people. Frank had his wishes, possibly, but his wishes did not come true. I will come up with a part 2 because I want to cover what happened directly after when Tiffany was nominated. I think it just became a tug of war. I don't know if I can necessarily say one side was not positive to the other side, but it got really messy. And I don't know how it did, but I'll tell you, we're going to continue this series. And there was a lot of people involved in the background, one being the Keith Freeman. So let's talk about it in the comments below. I'll be up with another part tonight to see what happened after Tiffany was appointed. But let's look at this quick video. And you guys let me know your thoughts. Take care of yourself and each other.
I didn't see that coming. Whatever happened to that? But don't right, I'm still shaking. Yeah, I am. I'm like, oh my God, hurt me so bad. I'm like, yeah, I'm all right.
I want to say again, we don't know what's happening in everyone's personal or professional lives, but we're just connecting what could have happened. So you guys make sure you always treat them with respect, send them prayers, and take care of yourself and each other. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna end this video here. Like I said, keep everybody in your prayers. We only can report what we see. We don't know what happens in these back doors and what's happening behind the scenes. I think no one's being transparent with us. Really, just take your educated vote to the polls. As always, have a great day and take care of yourself and each other. And good luck to everyone. Bye.
Commentary blue, commentary, burgundy, commentary, comment blue, commentary, comment burgundy blue, commentary blue, commentary.